All right, we are officially live here on YouTube. I haven't done a live feed yet on YouTube, and I wanted to try it out here, so let's see what happens. Appreciate anybody that would be tuning in on this. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please feel free to click that subscribe button. Maybe wait until there's a little bit of value there. If there is, we'd love to have you as part of the channel. Let's talk about precious metals. Let's talk about precious metals and the relation to Bitcoin. It's been a wild day on Friday with precious metals. A lot of people are wondering, is Bitcoin negatively affecting gold? Is gold going down because of Bitcoin? I have a different spin on it. A lot of people think that there's a negative correlation there. Personally, I don't agree with that. Personally, I don't agree with the fact that people think that because Bitcoin is going up, that it's making gold go down. It doesn't make sense to me because they're both attacking the same thing. They're both going after fiat currency. So as fiat currency as a whole being hundreds of trillions of dollars, we're seeing basically every person that is buying a Bitcoin is essentially taking 40,000 of fiat right now, or 41,000 fiat right now, and moving it into Bitcoin. And it's basically taking it, it's kind of poofing the poofed money into a different place. And so as we continue this process, we're going to start seeing more and more of that fiat currency going into those two assets. The reason I don't think that the correlation between Bitcoin and gold is negative is because it's such a small, the market caps there are so small in comparison to all the fiat currency in the world. That's what I think is so interesting. To think that if you're saying, say you're like a super bull, and I apologize if the quality's bad, this is just my laptop. This is actually the first live feed I've ever done on YouTube. So if the sound is good, I'm using these headphones as the microphone here, and it's just my MacBook Pro as the webcam. So if the quality isn't great, I'm not in the studio. I'm actually back at my house that happens to kind of look like a bunker. But I wanted to do a quick live feed talking about this because I've been getting a lot of questions on this negative correlation with Bitcoin. Also on the side over here, I can see your comments. What's up, Pierce? What's up, Famer7? I see you guys' comments over there. Let me know if the quality's okay. Let me know. I know the video quality is not going to be great, but hopefully the sound quality is all right. But appreciate you guys all being here. We actually got 10 people in this live feed. This is the first live feed I've ever done. So just wanted to test out the waters here and talk about precious metals. So this is also like a live Q&A as well. So I'm going to keep talking about what I think about this current state between precious metals and Bitcoin. But if there is some questions you have more specifically, I am looking at the comments right now, and anything you type over there, I will see it. Quality is good, brother. I appreciate it. Beast of Zalith. Beast of Zalith, appreciate you letting me know. Right on, right on. Good here with Pierce. Hey now with N8 Palm Death. We got Bitcoin. We got someone says Bitcoin less than gold and silver. I actually agree with that. I agree that it's probably more wise to have less Bitcoin than you do gold and silver. Specifically, I wish you switched it up. Silver, then gold. I like silver first. I like the industrial metals more than gold, but gold is still good. The best thing I could say about Bitcoin right now, and I hope that if you watch my videos that I've stayed consistent about this. I've been the same way about Bitcoin since the beginning until now. I'm still the same. My position in Bitcoin has grown a lot because I haven't sold any of it, and I started buying it quite a bit ago. And so it's become a much larger amount of my net worth than I originally anticipated. But if I was starting right now, if I was looking at Bitcoin right now in this current market, sitting at 40,000 change, let me check where Bitcoin is at. 40,000 and change. 40,600 roughly. So if I was looking at Bitcoin and I never bought any Bitcoin, I would say it like this. It is foolish to go all in on Bitcoin, and it is equally foolish to have none of it. Fair enough? That's how I think of this situation we're in. It is foolish to go all in, foolish to have none. Probably bad for me to have coffee later at night. I just watched this sleep thing on the master classes and stuff. What's, I forget what the guy's name is that teaches about sleep. And he's like, don't drink caffeine. It stays, there's a half-life of. I gotta have this Nespresso stuff. I know I'm not big enough for Nespresso to give me any ad. If you do see this Nespresso, hook me up with some pods because I use like 8 of them a day. It's bad. But what I wanted to talk about again with gold and Bitcoin, let me check these comments real quick. I think there's too much downside in Bitcoin than precious metals, Cassie. Pronounce Nate Palm. Okay. If I mess up your name, I apologize. I don't mean to. I just usually butcher names, unfortunately. How do you feel about Ethereum? Ethereum has ridiculous potential. It's almost, if I'm being fair, I've studied Bitcoin a lot more than Ethereum. I've listened to Vitalik talk a lot, and Vitalik is a true genius. He's real. You know, the person that started Ethereum is a true genius. I think he's extremely intelligent. He's built it as more of a platform for other tokens or other, you know, cryptos to use Ethereum. So he's made it kind of a universal situation where Ethereum has a tremendous upside to it. My bet personally, and all of this is all what I'm talking about for my opinion. It's not meant to be taken as financial advice. I have to say the disclaimer always. No, it's annoying, but Bitcoin is, if there was going to be a cryptocurrency that became a reserve currency of the world, it would be Bitcoin. So my bet is more about which one gets adopted as the reserve currency. The bet on Ethereum is that crypto wins so much that it's the perfect crypto to use as a platform in a sense. So the upside in it is I'm number one Bitcoin all the way. Maybe it would make sense. And I did think about, I've been thinking about moving some money from Bitcoin back into Ethereum. I had a little bit and I changed it all over to Bitcoin. If there was one other thing other than Bitcoin that I would be interested in, it would be Ethereum. And I think that it would be foolish to count Vitalik out. So I would say, and it's unique that you know who the founder is. With Bitcoin, we're like Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know who this is. Excuse me. With Ethereum, it's Vitalik. So you actually have the founder of it right there, and you can actually watch videos. And if you haven't watched any videos with Vitalik, he did a really good one with God, why am I not remembering his name? If you just look him up, there's quite a few interviews that he's done, and he's just extremely intelligent guy. I would highly recommend looking into him yourself. But Ethereum, I wouldn't count it out. I wouldn't count it out. I would want to do more research on my end, and I'd want to see how much more things are getting adopted before I actually sink my teeth deeper into Ethereum. But I certainly wouldn't count it out. Like I do with all the other, there's a lot of altcoins out there that I'm like, only Bitcoin. Ethereum is the only one that I would consider other than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin number one. The reason being that it's number one for me is I know that one of these cryptos, one of them has to become a reserve currency. One of them has to be the trusted, you know, dollar, so to speak, of the crypto world, and it would be Bitcoin. So that's my bet. And if that happens, that goes back into what I was talking about with gold and silver and including platinum, palladium, all the other precious metals. With Bitcoin, their market caps are so small. Their market caps are so small in comparison to the ridiculous amount of fiat currencies out there. The market caps are so small in comparison to the ridiculous amount of fiat currencies out there. I had to repeat myself because it's so true. We are talking hundreds upon hundreds of trillions of dollars out there. And when I say fiat currencies, we're talking all the currencies. We're talking euro, yen, dollars, all these fiat currencies. It's like this huge pocket of air over there. And all Bitcoin needs to do, being a little, like, I forget where since it's gone up even more, let's just say Bitcoin's market cap's under $1 trillion. That's definitely true. It's probably somewhere between 6 and like 800 billion at this point. I'd have to double check. But let's just say it's less than $1 trillion. If Bitcoin's market cap is less than $1 trillion, gold's market cap is 10 trillion. So for Bitcoin to be $500,000 a coin, you would have to see Bitcoin go up to being the same as gold, which would be 10 trillion on the market cap. Right now, it's less than 1 trillion. When you look at those two and you get your kind of blinders on and you're looking at it that way, it's like, okay, well, maybe it does suck gold's market cap down to 5 trillion to go up. It's like, no, that's what Peter Schiff has done. He's made it this, war between Bitcoin and precious metals, and it's not. It's not at all. It's really not at all, because when you realize how small their market caps are in comparison to this huge poofed, money from nowhere, this fiat currency over here, we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trillions of dollars. If it takes just a small 10% of that, if gold and Bitcoin takes just a small sliver of a piece of that pie of fiat currency over here, they're both going to skyrocket. And the other thing about Bitcoin that it actually is positive for gold is the fact that Bitcoin is making the masses become informed about currency. Right now, you're seeing on YouTube, like the forefront of YouTube, is everybody's talking about Bitcoin because it's the hot subject now. Not because it was something that was on their mind, as a college student or wherever you are in your life. Doesn't matter what age you are. It seems to be the youth is getting a lot more informed about currency than they ever were in the past because of this, in addition to everybody else as well. So I see it as a big positive. I'm hearing like younger kids talking about fiat currency and talking about how we had a gold standard and all these different things because of Bitcoin. Because of Bitcoin. The idea of tangible investments is becoming, there's more and more knowledge being put out there. So we do have Bitcoin to thank, even if you're very anti-Bitcoin. And it's hard for me to make these videos because, truth be told, I'm very big in precious metals. A lot of my following is very big in precious metals. We're all stackers, usually, like most of us in here. Some of us might be only about Bitcoin. I think it's a little bit foolish to go only in Bitcoin. I think it's safer to be in precious metals. But the point being is that if more knowledge is out there right now about decentralized assets, that's great. That's great. And I see them both being so small right now, their market caps being so small, that the upside is tremendous for both of them. That's my personal take. I'm going to read all these comments over here, by the way. I just wanted to talk about this subject a little bit. Are you in a bunker? You never know. You never know. Precious metals tanked on Friday, right? We had a really bad day on Friday. And I have a weird theory about that. Now, we don't get the same luxury in precious metals that Bitcoin has because Bitcoin runs 24/7. It's trading 24/7. It doesn't ever end. It's just 24/7 Bitcoin is moving, which makes it really hard if you have a good amount of Bitcoin to stop looking at this phone all the time. I got to like put it on airplane mode and throw it in my closet, because Lord knows I'll just keep looking at this price of Bitcoin over and over and over. But I don't think we are seeing the full tail of the tape, or whatever they would say along those lines. It's like there's a lot of smoke and mirrors right now. And this is where a contrarian shines. In this exact situation is where a contrarian shines, because you're in a situation where people are scared in precious metals. They're thinking precious metals are tanking. But realistically, do you really, in your heart, do you really believe the dollar index should be going up right now? Do you really think other countries are looking at the dollar right now with them diluting it, with them putting all of the stimulus packages out, all this happening that's going on right now? You really think the dollar index is going up? Like, really? So that's when you have to look past the smoke and mirrors and go, okay, the dollar index went up on Friday and precious metals tanked with news that stimulus packages are coming out. Doesn't make very much sense. Doesn't make very much sense. It's like back when people said Tesla's going bankrupt and this and that. And I know there's a lot of people that still think they should have went bankrupt and whatnot, but I just saw the product and I'm like, the product is so good and this guy is such a visionary. I don't believe you, Jim Chanos. I don't believe you. I think you're smoke and mirrors. Kind of a weird relationship, I guess, or analogy to use, but it's true. With precious metals, it's like, I see your smoke and mirrors, JP Morgan and all you banks out there, Jamie Dimon and all of them, just my opinion, by the way, just my opinion, not fact, just my opinion, disclaimer. It seems on Wall Street, this is just my opinion, it seems on Wall Street, whenever somebody wants to get a better entry on something that the firms really want, the hedge funds really want, they drop the price of it so them and their buddies can get in on the cheap while the retail market is scared. That's what it seems to be, a trend in, on Wall Street, is when somebody really wants to get in a certain stock or they really want to get into a certain asset, somehow it seems to drop in the beginning while all the big dogs are going in to accumulate and then all their buddies are getting in on the cheap. That's what I've noticed in the past, and that's what I personally think is happening in precious metals. I am still extremely bullish in precious metals. Personally, in precious metals, I go silver first, platinum second, gold third, a little bit of platinum, or a little bit of palladium and rhodium as the fourth, but small amount. That's how I am personally. That's my order that I do it. And now Bitcoin went up from being, it was silver, platinum, gold, but Bitcoin overtook my gold position because it went up so much. So that's my current positions I'm in. But let's get to some of these comments over here. Those are all the things I really wanted to talk about with precious metals and their relationship to Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is a front runner for precious metals. And I think that they are sucking away as much fiat currency money as they can. And honestly, it's not a long shot. It's not a long shot to say that Bitcoin could suck up 9 trillion to get to 10 trillion and match the same market cap as gold, or for gold to get from 10 trillion to 30 trillion. When you consider there's hundreds of trillions of dollars of currency that the world, that the people don't trust. I just made a joke on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'd love if you guys went over to the Instagram and followed on the Instagram at Rob Soltan on Instagram, because I'm trying to build a bit of a page over there as well, because I do some exclusive stuff on Instagram. It's just a useful platform to be able to connect with people, and I can actually check the DMs and message back and forth there, which is, this live feed is another new thing that I haven't been doing. So Instagram's a new thing, live feed's a new thing. Would appreciate it if you wanted to go follow the Instagram at Rob Soltan. But I was making a joke about how we're sick and tired of these bingo players. The local bingo hall is in control of the monetary systems. I had to make that joke because it's so true. It's like, when did we get these bingo hall members to be in charge of the monetary system? What's going on here? Can they go back to playing bingo? This doesn't make any sense. Like, we're sick of this. So when you see Bitcoin, this crazy internet money, going to 40,000, it's because the people are sick of this current system that we have. They're sick of it, and they want change, and they want it to be decentralized. So that's why Bitcoin's doing this. But is that going to tank gold? Is that going to tank silver? No. It's going to make more people realize that this is real money. It's going to help get more knowledge out there. But let's get to some comments. Let's talk about this. Famer7, you are correct. You are correct. That is insane to think about too. That is insane to think about. In 2020, they printed gold's market cap. In 2020, they printed gold's market cap, but it gets better. Because that money started there. It might have been 10 trillion at the Fed, but then it worked its way down to the commercial banks who gave out loans that were at 0% interest. So they could give out unlimited loans. They had no basis that they need to hold in the reserve that they used to. They used to have to hold a 10% in the reserve. There's none. They can just give out unlimited loans. So yeah, 10 trillion. No. That got multiplied by the commercial banks. So we're talking a whole lot more than 10 trillion. That's another thing that you got to wrap your head around. So to think it's a long shot for Bitcoin or gold to be jumping up over here, not a very long shot when you consider how much money has been printed. You are very, very right, Famer7. I agree with you. Let me see if I can scroll up a little bit. I am reading all the comments. So if you are writing a comment over there, I am reading it. Let's do some Q&As here. I wanted to talk about briefly that I just think this precious metals drop on Friday is a lot of smoke and mirrors. Okay, let's start there. Am I looking? How do you feel about Ethereum, or am I looking at it wrong? You're looking at it right. I think Ethereum is very interesting. How does gold, silver drop over 3%? Famer7. I think I talked about it. Honestly, I think it's smoke and mirrors. I think it's smoke and mirrors. And realistically, when you look at it, like when I went head to head with that, what was the guy that kind of got under my skin? What was his name? Like Yankee Stacking or something weird. Like, I don't remember. I think it's that. He said something along the lines of, wait for the perfect time to get in silver. And this is back when silver was like 21. And so silver jumped up. And even with this big pullback, You know, it would have been better just to buy back then and just be buying consistently, because if you really think about it, silver's still over 25. So it would have just made sense to consistently be buying silver. In the long term, you might see these peaks and valleys, but it's steadily going up. So it's like a consistency game with Bitcoin. There were people that were so skeptical with Bitcoin, like, oh, don't you want to get in at 8,000? Why are you getting in at 10,000? What's going to pull back to 7,000? You know, and even when it was at 12,000, oh, it's going to fall to 10,000. I'm going to wait till 10,000 to get in. Wouldn't it have just made sense to consistently be buying 12,000, 13,000, 14,000, 15,000, just consistently be buying? Because look at where it is now. So when you develop, the key is to develop a thesis and then stick to that thesis. It's not about getting scared by the peaks and the valleys and all the different dips and whatnot. Stick to the thesis, stick to the plan. That's the way that I personally do my investments. It's like with Tesla or something. I remember when it was at like 300 before the stock split. And everybody's like, oh, wait till 250. It's like, if you just consistently bought it, it had a 5-to-1 stock split. The stock went up like tremendously. You should have just been buying it consistently all the time. Anyway, I don't get caught up in the day-to-day. Develop a thesis and stick to it. That would be my best way to say that. In your opinion, is it too late to buy silver bars right now? 1 to 10 ounce particular, is it overpriced? Absolutely not. Hey, Rob. Hey, how's it going? A Heath. Okay, bro. Bitcoin is more than just a store of value. Decentralized finance will change the financial instrument landscape everywhere. I agree, ZTK. I agree with you. Michael Saylor is also a genius. And where do you see Tesla going? This is a good question. Famer7, you're saying some good questions here. Michael Saylor is also a genius. And where do you see Tesla going? It had a huge upside rally over the last few months. This is a very relevant topic that was just being discussed. Michael Saylor actually contacted Elon Musk on Twitter. And there was a recent interview he did where they asked, like, what did Elon Musk say to you about converting his treasury at Tesla like you did to Bitcoin? You got to remember, Michael Saylor converted over $1 billion into Bitcoin. Over $1 billion he put into Bitcoin, converted his whole company's treasury. So if you could imagine, if he convinced Elon Musk to convert his entire treasury at Tesla over to Bitcoin, could you imagine what the news that would bring? You know, the exposure that would bring. A figure like Elon Musk doing that, converting the entire treasury over to Bitcoin, would be insane. So that's the talk. That's what he's talking about, Famer7. He's talking about that situation. We don't know enough on it yet, but the interesting fact is that Elon Musk did reply to Michael Saylor. You can look up that Twitter. Just look up Michael Saylor, Twitter, Elon Musk or something on Google, and you'll see this conversation between the two of them. Elon Musk kind of was interested and actually replied to Michael Saylor, and Michael Saylor said, hey, I'll give you my playbook. I'll give you my playbook. We have all the MIT guys, all the Harvard guys, all those dudes are looking into this for us, and we will give you the playbook that we have over at my company. We'll share with you, Elon Musk. So to see these guys being advocates, these aren't exactly your, your nerds at home, like these are nerds that are multi-billionaires talking about this. These are not, I'm a nerd myself, so it's like, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying these are the people that are talking about Bitcoin right now are not small figures. These are multi-billionaires trying to convince each other to convert their company's treasuries into Bitcoin. And it's spreading like wildfire, this. So that's just insanity to me. And we don't have enough news on that, but it is very interesting to see Michael Saylor reaching out to guys like Elon Musk, and better that Elon Musk is actually being responsive to it and interested and wanting to learn about it. Very interesting situation there. Let's keep going through here. Appreciate the comment, Famer7. Does a Roman, are you in a bunker? Maybe, maybe not. 100% Bitcoin, dollar cost averaging. What would you suggest? Some percentage of Ethereum as well. Right now I'm 100% Bitcoin. My comment on Ethereum is, I know the bare bones of Ethereum, but I need to have more knowledge to comment on it. I don't want to comment on something that I haven't absorbed as much as I would like to. Off the cusp, is that the right? I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but just off the top of my head, it seems if there was one other thing to get into other than Bitcoin, it would be Ethereum for me personally. So I'm not against it. Maybe 90% Bitcoin, 10% Ethereum. 80% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum, something like that. I would be interested in maybe myself. Let's keep going through this. Small term investors made that drop. You could be right. He's talking about precious metals. Can you talk about Schiff's argument on Bitcoin not having intrinsic value versus gold? He's wrong. I don't want to be so blatant about it, but let's talk about that for a second. Peter Schiff, he says there's no intrinsic value to Bitcoin. Money is something that humans define as valuable. Money is something that humans define as being valuable and hard to get. So that's just my loose definition of money. Something valuable that's hard to get. I think it's fair enough to say it like that. Gold's hard to get, silver's hard to get, platinum's hard to get. It's valuable because of that. Go get me a Bitcoin. Go ahead. Go get me a Bitcoin. Oh wait, I really need a Bitcoin right now. Just go ahead and please go get me one. It's not very easy. It's not very easy because it's a asset that is actually hardening over time. It's the only asset that's hardening over time like this. So as it's progressing and progressing to 21 million, where it is finite in the truest sense, where it just ends at 21 million. As it keeps going down that line, and I think we're at like 18.5 or almost 19 million now coins, it's getting harder and harder to mine these Bitcoins. This is a lot of computational power. This is a lot of electricity costs. There's a major, look up Bitcoin mining operations online. Look it up on YouTube. They'll have great tours of these Bitcoin mining operations. It's very, very expensive to make a Bitcoin right now. And it's getting more and more expensive to make a Bitcoin right now. They're becoming increasingly hard to get. There are more millionaires in the world than there are Bitcoin. So if you have one full Bitcoin, you're part of an elite club that is less people in it than there are millionaires in the world, which is very crazy to think about if you can afford a full Bitcoin. So to say there's no intrinsic value to Bitcoin is wrong. There is intrinsic value and there is labor to making a Bitcoin. I disagree with that strongly. I'm a big bull on precious metals. I'm very, very bullish on precious metals. And you all know that I do put my money where my mouth is with precious metals. But to say that Bitcoin has no intrinsic value is not true. I strongly disagree with that. So let's keep this going. Appreciate the comment. That's another great comment there. Can you talk about it? That was that one. Small term investors made a drop. I agree. Not everyone will afford a Bitcoin when it's super high. Peeps are going to flock to metals while it's still cheap. You can buy. This is something I actually got someone messaged me on Instagram recently and said, I didn't realize you can buy fractional amounts of Bitcoin. Didn't even know. And now if there's anybody that doesn't know that, you can buy $10 a Bitcoin. You can buy, $20 a Bitcoin, $5 a Bitcoin. You can buy a penny a Bitcoin, I think. You can buy very, very small amounts of Bitcoin if you're in your Cash App or your Coinbase. This is another thing I want to talk about with Bitcoin, actually. Let me get a little bit more caffeine in me. What's interesting about this bull run, and this is something I talked about before Bitcoin went over 40,000 here. The first bull run that ended up deflating when it went to 20,000, and then I guess we all can remember it fell to 3,000. Everyone, it fell from 20 to 3,000. The bubble burst. The difference between then and now is Coinbase at the time was a very new thing. So to simplify this, the learning curve to get in on Bitcoin was very high. The learning curve was high. The barrier to entry was high because it's like, okay, what's this Coinbase thing? And now it's a lot more popular, Coinbase. But back then, when that first run went to 20,000 with Bitcoin, Coinbase wasn't really well known and you didn't really trust it. You're like, what is this Coinbase thing? Is this really real, this crypto thing? So there's only so many people that were doing it. So the barrier of entry was super high. And the knowledge on Bitcoin was much lower than it is today, obviously, because more time has elapsed and there's more content out there on Bitcoin. So at that first bull run, and this is why I always knew that this run was so much different this time around. So back at that first run, you have the barrier of entry is high and the knowledge is low and the hype is low. Now we have a situation where we have Cash App jumping in and lowering that barrier of entry. And now you got PayPal jumping in and you're lowering that barrier of entry. So now it's becoming like a convenience good. Now it's becoming an impulse buy. That's the term. The term in like marketing is a convenience good, where like you go to a 7-Eleven or something and you go, okay, I'll pay double the price for bubble gum because it's here, it's right there, it's a convenience. I'll pay extra. Here you go. It's turning Bitcoin at this bull run into a bit more of a convenience good, which is very interesting. When you got PayPal jumping in and you got Cash App, and now Coinbase is much more well known and much more trusted now. So that barrier of entry has now dropped tremendously. PayPal is a huge company. Cash App is a huge company. The barrier of entry has dropped, and the knowledge and the hype is at all-time highs. So what do you think that's a mixture? What do you think that puts together there? Barrier of entry low, knowledge and hype at all-time highs. It seems like the perfect scenario, you know, to have a major bull run in Bitcoin. And that's what we're seeing right now. And I don't think that's going to be stopping anytime soon, because the market cap, I don't care when it's just like not knowing if you can buy a fractional Bitcoin. I don't care if a Bitcoin is 40,000. I care about the market cap of Bitcoin. That's what I care about. Don't get caught up on that big lofty number. It's like caring about, oh, well, Tesla stocks this and forgetting that there was a 5-to-1 stock split. A lot of people actually do that. It's very surprising to me that the mind games that gets played there, because nobody's looking at the market cap. Don't look at the number. A stock could be trading at a couple bucks, but it depends on how many shares have been issued. What matters is the market cap of that asset or that stock. Care about the market cap, and the market cap of Bitcoin being under 1 trillion when it is looking to become a reserve currency. It's nothing. It's nothing. 1 trillion is nothing compared to the hundreds and hundreds of trillions that are out there. So when you look at it like that, it's kind of like a mind-opening thing. Don't get caught up on, oh, Bitcoin's over 40,000. I can never get into Bitcoin. I really missed the boat on this one. It's more about, okay, well, Bitcoin's market cap is less than 1 trillion, and it has this ridiculous amount of fiat currency over here, where all it needs to do is just take a slight air pocket of that. Just a slight little bit of that piece of pie. You get this huge piece of pie, this pizza, you just need a very thin sliver for that to get up to literally 500,000, $1 million of Bitcoin. Just the thinnest little sliver of it to do that, which is insane to think about. It's insane to think about. So sorry for getting off on a little tangent about that, but let's get through these more comments here. Bitcoin could replace a significant percentage of financial services sector. Can replace a significant percentage of the financial services sector. Smart contracts can provide a lot of similar facilities bank provide. If you have, I mean, I'm testing hard wallets right now. So this is one of the hard wallets I'm testing. I have this, I got the Trezor, I got the Ledger. I'm testing them all right now. This one's actually, it's like the cheapest one, and it's very impressive compared to the others, to be honest with you. So I'm testing out the hard wallets right now. But if you have a hard wallet, you're a bank. That's the barrier of entry, right? I mean, it's a little bit complex to learn how a hard wallet works. It's a little bit complex. But the second you have this, you're now a bank. That's insane. You literally are a bank because of that. The barrier of entry to being a bank has never been so low. It's a little bit complex to learn how a hard wallet works, but the second you take your Bitcoins off an exchange and you put it into a hard wallet, which that's why the reason I'm testing out all these hard wallets is because I plan to make a lot more videos about that, to teach about these and help people out. But this is one that I'm testing right now. And I already used the Trezor, and there's a couple others. There's not too many of them out there, but I'm testing them right now. But yeah, it's very true. The second you have a hard wallet, you're essentially a bank, which is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Let's keep this going here. I like your intro. Let's see what happens. Appreciate that, LL Paz. You know, a lot of people have been saying, you know, do you need to do an intro on this YouTube thing where you have like some fancy intro thing and you pay some guy to do an animation? I have one of those for my company, Mineral Exchange, like an animation, but I just want to get to the point. I just want to just go straight to talking. So no fancy intros, no pop-up to subscribe or whatever. If you want to subscribe, please click the subscribe. You know, if you don't, I don't think I need to put a pop-up thing in animation in your face on that. But I appreciate you saying that, LL Paz. I think it's more of an asset. It's a monetary energy, hardest wealth preservation there is. I agree with you. Bitcoin could be replaced a significant percentage. That's the one I just read. I guess I'm just old school. What do you think about palladium? By the way, I love your vids. Hey, I appreciate that. Palladium is in an interesting place right now where it is just it's a derivative of platinum and it is more than double the price of platinum. Personally, I would much rather be in platinum. I think platinum has a lot more upside to it than palladium. Um, that's just me personally, but I like platinum better than palladium. So if I was choosing between the two, I would be going with platinum, and I that's what I do with my own money. Um, Never leave your Bitcoin on an exchange unless you are actively trading it. Correct, correct. If you have it on an exchange, you don't technically own it. The second you take it off the exchange and you own the keys and you can own them in your head, you can write them down, that's when you become a bank. That's when you legitimately have taken your Bitcoin out of the exchange and into your own hard wallet. Um, I agree with that. Which is another, that gets to Cash App, by the way. This is something to be concerned about with Cash App. At one point, I had a good amount of Bitcoin with Cash App. Cash App limits the amount that you can withdraw. Withdrawal meaning send your Bitcoin to a hard wallet. I don't like that. I don't like that, Jack Dorsey. I don't like that at all. I don't think that's very cool. He made it so that you have a 5,000 per week limit to send Bitcoin out. So actually change, like put the Bitcoin on a blockchain and put it into a hard wallet. You can sell where Cash App makes money on it and takes their fees. You can sell and then change it into dollars and then pay Cash App again by doing an instant deposit from there to go into your bank. So that's where they're making the money. They're making the money on you buying Bitcoin, on you storing Bitcoin because they're probably making interest on it. And then they're also making money on forcing you to sell the Bitcoin through their exchange, through their platform. They are limiting the amount to 2,000 per day and 5,000 per week of the amount of Bitcoin that you can actually shoot out of Cash App into a hard wallet or send to a friend to pay for something. So if you wanted to pay somebody in your Bitcoin and you wanted to send them 2,000, Cash App only allows you to do 2,000 a day up to 5,000 a week to actually own the Bitcoin and take the Bitcoin out of Cash App server into the blockchain and put it into a hard wallet or send it to a different exchange. Which I don't. It's kind of it's not. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all because it's kind of forcing you to keep it there. Don't buy a ledger. They have leaked information twice due to their inability to prevent information hacks on their system. Of all of them that I've tested, I don't like the ledger very much because it's like it gives you this tiny little screen and you got to like move through it. I don't really like the ledger too much. It just looks like a glorified, what's that called? Memory stick. It happened to Trezor too. Hackers are targeting all of the companies. The thing about it is I've been learning about the hard wallets, and what's unique is the only way if you have your money sitting on an exchange or connected to the internet, when you have it on a hard wallet, you've taken it off the internet. So the only way you could really hack a hard wallet is when it is connected, and also if somebody had literally would have to steal the actual hard wallet from you or steal the key codes. The key codes are only spit out once, so you have it only gets shot out once out of the hard wallet. You write them all down. You write down your 10 words and your phrases, save those. But to hack it, you would actually have to be connected to the internet. That's why it's so scary. Certain wallets are not actually a hard wallet. They're not actually, they're still connected to the internet. So they might be on your phone or they might be on a computer where that's where they are very susceptible to an attack. So it's very, very hard to hack a hard wallet, especially if it's being kept cold off the grid and you're storing it where it's not connected to any internet. It's not connected to any power outlet. It's in cold storage. But that's something I'm currently learning about. I'm going to make a video about that as soon as I get up to speed. But I have been learning a bit about the hard wallets, and I've been bouncing Bitcoins around and learning about it. If you leave your money in a bank, you're leaving it with the people who make dollars out of thin air. Buying Bitcoin with it instead is much better because no one has the ability to make more of it. Speaking facts, you can't print gold, you can't print Bitcoin, you can't print silver, you can't print any of these things. So put your money in things that you can't print. But better yet, to elaborate on that, this is something a mentor of mine told me a while back, and I really took it to heart, so I'll share it here. Build your own printing press. If they are printing money, why would you want to work for money that they print? Make your own printing press. And what I mean by that is, say you have real estate, say you're able to get in the real estate game, you could make your tenants pay you in whatever you wanted in the future. You could say, I have a place for you to rent. I want to be paid in Bitcoin. So essentially, you've built your printing press for Bitcoin. You could say, I want to get paid in dollars, and you can get paid in dollars and convert them to Bitcoin, or just keep the dollars, whatever you want. But you have real estate that is now a printing press for you. You're not working for money that they can print. You have your own printing press. If you have a business that's moving cash flow, you have a printing press. So to further go into detail on that, build your own printing press. Don't work for money that they can print, and build your own printing press. If you leave your money in a bank, do you think silver will go to 100 an ounce? The governor of California is going to require every house to have solar panels by the year of 2030, which means high demand of silver. In short, personally, yes. I think silver should be right now over 100 an ounce. The fact that it's been like falsely suppressed as much as it has for as long as it has is ridiculous. Another thing about silver, I've talked about this in prior videos. I can't believe we have 40 people in this live feed. This is the first live feed I've ever done. I really appreciate you all being part of this live feed. But with silver, most people think because gold is gold. You got, actually, ironically enough, I have some gold here. I got some St. Gaudens gold coins, right? They're actually, if you know your numismatic, they're old green holders with CAC stickers on them. So these were $20 St. Gaudens gold coins. A lot of people look at gold and they go, okay, well, gold's gold. It's obviously more rare than platinum or silver. It's much more rare. No, there's actually quite a bit of gold above ground. Silver is there's actually 8 times more gold above ground than there is silver. So when we're talking above ground, there is far, far less silver in bullion form above ground right now. So if you think gold is more rare than silver, you're actually incorrect if you're talking about what's actually above ground. If you're talking about what's in vaults. Silver is an industrial metal. As you're talking about with solar panels, it is a key component in solar panels. There's a lot of uses for silver because it's just a very unique metal, and it's like bacteria can't stick to it. I don't want to mess up that word. It's antibacterial. Bacteria doesn't stick to silver. So there's a lot of uses for it in the medical world and also in solar panels and a lot of different other things. It's an industrial metal. Not many people are storing it as wealth like they do with gold. Gold is literally, like, if you take jewelry out of the picture, there's like 10% of it that is used in industry, maybe less. Whereas platinum and silver, the reason I'm so bullish on platinum and silver myself is it's about 90% industrial, somewhere between 80 and 90% industrial purposes. So if you were going to mine silver in the future, there's jokes between, silver investors that you'd have to mine it in landfills. That's where you're going to find silver and platinum is in landfills. So when they talk about, like, some people think, this market cap of platinum is super high, or not very high, or said, it could be up to 150 billion. The truth is, a lot of that is sitting in products or in landfills. There's a very, very small amount of it that is actually in 99 fine bullion form. Something to think about. Anyone else on IG? Let's connect. I like it, Jose. Let's connect. Always good to be marketing with other people on here. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, at Rob Soltan on Instagram, really appreciate you checking out the Instagram. So in short, I kind of went on a rant there with that 100 an ounce silver. I think silver could easily get to 100 an ounce, and I think it's kind of wrong that it isn't there already. Especially when gold hit all-time highs, silver never got to its all-time high, which was 48 back in 2011. They may be targeting all the companies, but they have hit Ledger with the same hack multiple times, which is insane given the line of business they're in. Again, with the hard wallet, it's important to keep your keys safe and to not have it connected to the internet. When your hard wallet is not connected to the internet, nobody can steal your Bitcoin off of it. It's when it is connected to the internet, or if somebody steals the actual device, they're able to hack it if they've stolen the actual device. That's the key, is making sure that your device is safe and your keys are safe. More importantly, the keys. That's something that I could go into more detail on that if you guys want with the keys on the hard wallet. I've been planning to do a video about that, so I like to learn about stuff first before commenting on it. That's why I've been buying all these hard wallets. It's a waste of money for me because you only need really one of them, but I've gotten like literally what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 2 more coming in the mail, so like 7 hard wallets. I've spent like over $1,000 on hard wallets just to test them all out. But that's how I learn. I learn by just doing and getting a hands-on feel for it, and then I'll comment on it. Is your IG profile on private? No, just at Rob Soltan. At Rob Soltan on IG. It shouldn't be on private. I'll be bummed if it's on private. I'll just pull it up for you guys. There it is. Just Rob Soltan. Right there. Rob Soltan. I'm doing some exclusive content over there, and I'm doing a lot more stuff on the IG. But it's nice because you can actually DM me there, and I can actually be able to talk to you all on a person-to-person basis there. And it is me. It's kind of small time, so it's actually me responding. It's not like a bot or something or a person at an employee. Let's keep going. I heard some news that Visa are getting involved in Bitcoin too. I mean, the way Wall Street works with emerging markets is when one person, like it right now, put yourself in this position here. More caffeine because Lord knows I need it. The way Wall Street works is they're very much so copycats. Like the people on Wall Street are not that intelligent. They really aren't, in my personal opinion. Like they just play this big game of copycat, where one firm does really well. So someone might be looking at, say, Social Capital from Chamath and seeing how much money they've made on Bitcoin. Then their investors at, say, this hedge fund are looking at them and go, why don't you have any Bitcoin? What's wrong with you guys? You know, these other companies are doing so well because they had Bitcoin. Why don't you have any Bitcoin? So you see this growing tidal, like I see tidal, more of a snowball effect of these hedge funds and all of these institutions starting to get into Bitcoin. And if they all went into Bitcoin, which they do go into emerging markets, you know, 1 to 2%, they just slowly get in there. Bitcoin could easily go to a couple million a coin. Easily. And to say that, I know it sounds, because people get caught up on the numbers that right now they get caught up on 40,000, like, oh, it's so expensive a Bitcoin. You can buy fractional amounts of Bitcoin. You know, if dollars weren't so, if dollars weren't so like just ridiculously, I mean, for example, $20 St. Gaudens. This is a $20 gold piece. This is actually $20 American. I could give this to a bank if I, you know, wasn't really right in my head, but I could, because it's $20 in United States currency. This is what our $20 used to be. It used to be 20. Now this right here is worth, you know, well over 1,800. If dollars were actually priced right, you would see them being a lot more expensive and holding a lot more value, but they're not. So Bitcoin, you're looking at Bitcoin, you're going, oh, 40,000, and you forget that you can have a fractional amount of Bitcoin. I don't know if that analogy made too much sense. I'm trying to bring it back to like dollars versus Bitcoin in a sense, but the true intrinsic value, it might show that it's 40, but you can have a smaller amount of it. Don't get caught up on that. Look at the market cap and look at the industry it's looking to disrupt. It's like Tesla. Like when a lot of people think I made most of my money in metals. I did very, very well on Tesla stock. I had Tesla call options and I did very well on that. With Tesla, I never saw them as an auto company. I saw them as something looking to disrupt the entire energy industry and looking to disrupt the entire auto industry as a whole and have like a completely revolutionary product. And when you look at the market cap of Tesla back then, when it was, say, you know, 10 billion to 20, 30 billion, you looked at that small market cap and you went, well, they're after trillion-dollar industries, multi-trillion-dollar industries. Yeah, it could get a piece of that pie. Tesla could get a piece of that pie. Same thing with Bitcoin, except it is like the pie it's going after, the balloon that Bitcoin is going after. I can't even like drive home enough just how much fake money is out there. So much that this will blow your mind. Whenever somebody like tells me, oh, well, convince me about Bitcoin. And this is something that convinced me about Bitcoin. It's like, how many dollars exist in the world? Anybody in the comments here? How many dollars to the penny? To the penny, how many dollars exist in the world? How many? Does anybody know? Does Jerome Powell even know? They've printed so much that nobody knows. They've given out so many loans at the commercial banks through fractional reserve banking. Nobody knows. Tell me how many dollars are out there to the penny. Nobody knows. Nobody knows how many loans have been given out. Nobody knows all the money that's been printed and been trickled down and multiplied through the banks. Nobody knows how many dollars are out there. That's crazy because you know what, with Bitcoin, I could tell you to the decimal point. I could tell you to the exact decimal point. I could tell you how many move through the blockchain. It is all there. It's elegant. It's beautiful. It's decentralized. It's not connected to any central party. When all of that started clicking to me, I went, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's perfect. I have bad OCD where one thing will be like nails on a chalkboard to me, where I really stick my head gets stuck on something and I can't find the negative in Bitcoin. If one government decides to outlaw Bitcoin, that might have a very bad effect and backfire because another country will accept it and say it's okay. So what is all the citizens going to leave that country and go, okay, well, you guys aren't accepting Bitcoin, but I can just put it on my little hard wallet and I can split off to a different one. It kind of would backfire. If you saw, I used to think that was a negative, but if you saw regulation on Bitcoin, it might actually make Bitcoin's price skyrocket and spike and make people kind of rebel against the system and go, okay, well, then I don't want to be here. I'll go to Australia or, wherever Bitcoin is being accepted. It's invincible to any central party. It was designed in this elegant way. That's why I've been against Peter Schiff from the get-go. If you guys go back to my videos, I got a lot of pullback from that because, a lot of us are fans of Peter Schiff. I'm a fan of Peter Schiff's, and I've been trying to get him to, I keep calling him out. If you go to my IG, if you actually go to @RobSoltan on Instagram, this isn't just for me to plug it. I would love for you to follow me on Instagram, but I have been going after Peter Schiff. So everybody's saying to get an interview with Peter Schiff, go look at my Instagram. I have been going in on him. And I have literal screenshots of him commenting on my video. He's commenting on my video something along the lines of, I hope your channel ends up better than Bitcoin, or and I'm like, well, if you think my channel is going to do better than Bitcoin, well, then how come my channel subscribers hasn't tripled yet? He said a comment on one of my videos back when Bitcoin was like 10,000, and he goes, I hope if you go back to that video, like it was like something with, there's like a thumbnail with me like against Peter Schiff, and he commented on it, and he actually goes, I hope your channel ends up doing better than Bitcoin. Good luck with it. And it's like, well, I'm hoping my channel does do better than Bitcoin, because that would mean my subscribers tripled, and it's not quite there yet. So he's been wrong on that prediction as well, Peter Schiff. But one day I'll be able to talk with you and convince you why it is not. Whoa, ZTK gave me $5. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I didn't even realize that you could give me money on here. Wow. Thank you, man. That is really cool. I will definitely be getting to that, ZTK. Talk about Peter Schiff just a little bit more here because I want to dig in on him a little bit, because I know he's watching, and I know Mike Maloney's watching, because the platinum video I did with Mike Maloney went a little bit viral, and I know that he's been kind of saying similar things. But overall, from the very get-go, it would have been so good for Peter Schiff's image to just be accepting of Bitcoin that it is driving so much knowledge into decentralized assets. I know that he would even agree with that himself, where it's like these kids that never would have thought about decentralized assets, never would have thought about fiat currency, are now looking at it because of Bitcoin. They are now getting they've taken there's the whole matrix thing, the blue pill or the red pill. They've taken the red pill, and they know it's like, okay, and that is not any reference towards anything like that. It's reference to matrix and opening up your mind. But it is a situation where when you finally get it, and you go, wow, the whole system is this big Ponzi. It's crazy. If you call Bitcoin a Ponzi, then what's the dollar? Because Bitcoin, you can't announce a secondary. You can't just print, Bitcoin. You can't just shoot it out of nothing, but you can with dollars. It's wild to me. The ZTK, I appreciate it. Long gold, silver, plat, and Bitcoin, all for different reasons. Short paper money, it's worthless. I would have, whatever. I really appreciate you donating some money to this channel. It means a lot to me. I mean, I really, this YouTube, it doesn't, I own Mineral Exchange. I don't like to plug my company. I own mineralexchange.com. I don't like to be like, hey, this is sponsored by my company. If you want to get in precious metals, or if you want to get in tangible investments, please, I have a wholesale buyers list. You can go to mineralexchange.com and you can check that out if you'd like. But to see somebody giving a donation on here, I really, really appreciate it. So thank you, ZTK. That means a lot to me, man. Peter Schiff is a waste of time. Why try to convince someone who doesn't understand Bitcoin? The reason I would is because Peter Schiff is a patriot. And I really believe in his stance on a smaller government. When you take apart just that negative, slander of, oh, you're anti-Bitcoin, so I don't like you. Peter Schiff is a true patriot, and he's a really good person. And if you research like what his father was a political prisoner, and it's probably not good to talk about his story or anything, but Peter Schiff is a very good person, and he means well. He doesn't mean anything bad. And if the economists of the world listened to him after 2007, when he was saying this is how you can fix the system, it would have fixed the system. It would have helped. So you've got to give Peter Schiff some credit in regards to his policies, in regards to his understanding of government structure, all of these things. You have to give him a lot of credit for that. So it's not just this headbutting match. Like, yeah, I like to joke about it because and you know what, that comment he made wasn't exactly like an insult. It was kind of like a passive aggressive, nice thing to say. He's like, good luck with the channel. In the end, I hope it does better than Bitcoin. If you go back to that video, you can see the comment. It was actually his verified account that commented on one of my videos where I said, Peter Schiff is wrong about Bitcoin. And it turns out Bitcoin went up 3 times since that video was made. So you could just sell half now and then ride the rest on the house, I guess. So you can't really counter it now. But I don't want to. I think that his whole negative thing towards Bitcoin is just because he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand it, and he'll never get it because he's got the blinders on to what he knows. So that's what I think the situation is in that. But I do really, really respect Peter Schiff, and I think he's a very good person, and I think he is a true patriot. He's been standing up against the Fed for a very, very long time, and you've got to give him credit. You got to give him credit. So don't think when I'm joking around with Peter Schiff that it's out of disrespect. I have a lot of respect for him, and we both believe in precious metals. I just happen to not be the guy to be like, Bitcoin bad. When I'm going to tell it like it is. If I'm going to make videos, if I'm going to put myself out there, I am not going to just be a salesman. I could be a salesman any day of the week, where I just want to be selling precious metals, selling collectibles, which I do put my money in myself and I believe in. But with this YouTube channel and putting videos out and everything, it's like I want to really speak from the heart. And the second I saw Bitcoin, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I still can't find anything wrong with it. So it's just, it's like hope. Michael Saylor's right about that. Michael Saylor owns like hope.com, and he says Bitcoin's hope, and you can go to hope.com to look into. Pretty. Michael Saylor's a badass. I really like that guy a lot. I hope one day I can get an interview with him or be able to talk with him or something. But it's really hope. If there's one thing that can fix the system that we have right now, I don't see it being anything but Bitcoin. It's beautiful, but let's get back to these talks. Matt Maloney, if you are related to Mike Maloney, Matt, let's put that together. That's another person I really respect is Mike Maloney. It was after me. I don't know if you watched one of my videos, but he actually jumped into the Bitcoin is good for precious metals side as right now, because it's true. Bitcoin is very good for precious metals. So he's on that team as well. That's what I've been saying for a long time. It's really good to see that. He's still very wrong about platinum. But that's actually my most viewed videos on platinum, saying I disagree with Mike Maloney on platinum. But again, just because I disagree with somebody, and this is a major thing with America in general, just because you disagree with somebody doesn't mean you don't like them. It doesn't mean you can't respect them as a person. Just because you disagree on something, that's why we have the freedom of speech, that we could talk to each other. Just because you don't have the same political stance or the same stance on money or the same stance on Bitcoin it doesn't mean that you need to hate that person. You can disagree in a fruitful way. So I disagree with Peter Schiff on Bitcoin, but I think he's a great patriot. I disagree with Mike Maloney on platinum, but I think he is a great patriot as well that has been constantly teaching about the Fed, constantly teaching about precious metals. And I've learned a lot from both of these people. And honestly, they know more about precious metals than I do. And I'm still learning from them. So it's not about a disrespect thing. It's just a matter of disagreeing, which Peter Schiff is wrong about Bitcoin and Mike Maloney was wrong about platinum. sorry, my ego. Never said he wasn't a good person. I never said no, I wasn't saying that you were saying. I was just saying that for the record. Doozy Big, I agree with you. I think he is not ever going to give in and admit that he is wrong about Bitcoin. I totally agree. I totally agree with you. I was just chiming in. I didn't say that you said that. I was chiming in and saying that because I don't want people to think just because, like on my Instagram, on my Instagram at Rob Soltan on Instagram, shameless plug. But I've been literally tagging him on Instagram and saying, you know, I made a joke about it, something along the lines of, actually, some people are following me on Instagram right now. Wow, appreciate you guys going on Instagram, follow me there, man. That's actually me. If you DM me on Instagram, I will get back to you. It's actually me. This is what I did. I said that to Peter Schiff. Hang on. Can I get that to focus? See, this is what happens when I use my MacBook Pro webcam thing. Anyway, if you could see the text on there, there we go. I did focus. So might be backwards actually, but I tagged him in the actual post and like said, Peter Schiff, at the time you commented on this video, Bitcoin was 16K. I'm a little disappointed because you said, I hope your channel does better than Bitcoin. And so far my subscribers and views hasn't tripled yet. I actually tagged his actual Instagram. So if you guys want to go there and tag Peter Schiff on that post, I would love to talk to him about this. I would love to talk to him about this because other than like say when he goes on with Anthony Pompliano or he goes on with a bunch of like really big Bitcoin guys, I actually come from the precious metals world. Maybe because I own Mineral Exchange and I can get you a very, very competitive rate on precious metals. And because I'm a smaller company, my rate is probably more competitive than a very big company that has to pay a lot of overhead. So I'd probably beat his price. I think he owns like Shift Gold or something like that. So maybe that's why he's a little bit against it or something. But I would love to talk to him, not talk about our companies, just talk about this debate here. But yeah, Peter Schiff, again, I think he's a great guy. I just think he's been, well, he is wrong about Bitcoin because he's been against Bitcoin since like 3,000 and now it's at 40. So, I mean, if you sold half your Bitcoin, if all of us watching this video that disagreed with Peter Schiff and bought Bitcoin, sold half our Bitcoin, and then we just rode the rest on the house, we could prove that no matter what, Peter Schiff was wrong. But I guess no, if Bitcoin actually failed overall, I guess we made profit, but the system failed. But the thing is, the system is beautiful and elegant. So I hope the system works. He should hope the system works. It's a beautiful, it's really it's the only possible solution because the reason why gold didn't work as the actual stored asset for money is, and say you had like a blockchain based system that was back to gold, which could be very interesting. I heard like Perth Mint and a couple other things are doing that. You are trusting somebody to be holding this gold. You're trusting that this gold is real. You're trusting this gold is authentic, and you are trusting somebody with storing the physical gold. With Bitcoin, you are the bank, you are the storage, you own the Bitcoin. And to a lot of people, to not be able to tangibly touch something, it's hard to grasp that and hard to accept that. But when you think about it being a solution where nobody can confiscate this, if you own the keys and you've memorized your keys in your head, nobody can confiscate your money. It can't be like the 1930s again or prior to 1971 when they outlawed gold. It can't be like that. You know, they can't confiscate your gold. They can't confiscate your Bitcoin. They can confiscate your gold. They can't confiscate your Bitcoin because there is nothing tied to it, and it exists. It is there. You can't get to it, and you actually own it in your mind, and you own it on your own hard wallet. If someone stole your hard wallet and you lost the hard wallet or it got water damage or something, and you memorized your seed, your key codes, you could then buy the same hard wallet and then literally put it into that and then get your Bitcoin back. So it's like there is no central party that can confiscate your Bitcoin. It's created in that way. So that's why it's like you hope that it succeeds. You hope that it succeeds. It's, for me, there's almost like charity in it. You want it to succeed. It's so beautiful, the system. Sorry, it's like I get almost emotional about it because like it really is the cure to fiat currency. It's really the cure to this, all these bingo players in control of our monetary system. It's the cure to it. It's beautiful. Hey, Pete, I see someone gave me $5 again. Like, that's $10 in this live stream. Thank you guys. Like it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that you do that. Thank you. It's P Badar. Didn't even say a question or anything. If you have a question or anything to write, I'd love to answer and love to say anything that I can about a subject. But to give me $5 and not even ask any question or anything, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. But anyway, sorry, I got a little bit on a sidetrack on why I'm passionate about Bitcoin. But what I'm seeing on forums online and what I'm seeing with my friends is people, including myself, would be willing to take this St. Gaudens here and go, you know what? I'll take 2,000 in Bitcoin for this. Send me this amount of Bitcoin. I'll take that for that. And in that system, you shipped out the gold, you took in the Bitcoin. There was no central party. There was no dollars involved. Collectible traded for Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin is here that can be used to buy another collectible for cash flow. No dollars involved. I see that maybe right now we're not in a situation where we can just go to, say a coffee shop and buy coffee with Bitcoin. Maybe that's not here yet. It seems to be going in that direction. Maybe it's not there yet. But as a bartering tool, I can tell you firsthand it's there. I can tell you firsthand from myself and other dealers that they are starting to accept Bitcoin. So as a barter instrument, if you are buying a collectible or something, they are willing to accept Bitcoin as tender for the said collectible. And in that system, there's no central party there. There's no dollars involved, which is very elegant, very interesting. I think that's how it starts. We start bartering with Bitcoin for tangibles, for collectibles. Excuse me. I remember the last Bitcoin run up when it jumped to 20,000. People were buying Lambos with Bitcoin. People were buying houses in Bitcoin with Bitcoin. We will see people starting to use Bitcoin to buy things that are larger. And then eventually it might get adopted when it stabilizes. Say Bitcoin goes to 1 million a coin, stabilizes, and it just kind of stays in that relative range. If we saw, Bitcoin have this huge jump and then get stabilized for a few months where it just stays there, the adoption level would skyrocket. It's like this S curve, it goes like that and then it flattens. That's the way I see Bitcoin. If you look at what an S curve is, it starts kind of flat where it was in the dollars, woo, for 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, all the way to 1 million, 2 million, whatever Bitcoin stops at. And then it gets this kind of top flat line where it stops getting volatility to it and it gets adopted. And then while it's at the top of the S curve up there, after the exponential run up, it will S curve out and more people will adopt it more for their day-to-day businesses, accepting this for your coffee, accepting this for your dinner, that type of thing. But right now I am seeing in the collectibles world, Bitcoin being accepted for collectibles, which is, it's pretty mind-boggling, and it's the start of that snowball effect. But let's get into more of these comments over here. The biggest Ponzi scheme going on right now is the World Monetary Fund around the US dollar. You said it. You said it. And if I don't say anything, I agree with it. So I'm going to just go. What do you think about platinum's future? I'm a big bull on platinum. I think platinum is so finite. It is such a unique metal. It is used in a majority industrial purposes. I have quite a few videos on platinum. If you go to my channel, I did a video, ironically enough, against Mike Maloney on platinum. And platinum's done pretty well since that video. I think that video came out when platinum was like 800-ish. And platinum, yeah, it pulled back. Everybody's getting caught up on this pullback from Friday. Pull up the 3-month chart. Pull up the 6-month chart on precious metals. You know, there are peaks and valleys, but I think this is some smoke and mirrors where we are going to start seeing institutions. If you're an institution right now and you're looking at the dollar index and you're a smart trader and you're going, okay, dollar index is going up. Dollar index is going up. Dollars are more diluted than ever before. But the dollar index is going up. It's like, okay, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be a contrarian here. It really doesn't. So I think more institutions are it's whenever you see institutions that really want. I remember when Jamie Dimon from Chase Bank, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon is the CEO of JP Morgan, was like, "Oh, Bitcoin's nothing." But meanwhile, as he was saying that, they were trying to come out with their own JPM coin. Like he's saying, "Cryptocurrency's nothing, Bitcoin's nothing." Okay, guys, work on this cryptocurrency thing. I gave us a little bit of time. You know, it's like that's the way they work on Wall Street. You know, they are extreme. I don't want to say like the wrong words or anything, but they are not very honest. They are not very honest. And the only difference really between Bernie Madoff and the Fed is that one of them has better friends. You know, the only difference between those guys, the hedge fund guys and the Fed and all of them, it's like, yeah, they had better friends than Bernie. You know, they had better friends. But realistically, there's not much different there. If you don't mind me asking, how much did you gain from Tesla stocks? Not millions, hundreds of thousands. I'll just say that. So I guess that's the best I would say on that. I don't want to get into like exact details on it, but not millions. What do I think about Platinum's future? Just answer that. I don't know if I agree with some of Schiff's political views, but he has done me well. I have learned a great deal from him and Mike Maloney. I'm a libertarian myself. I used to not say that. I used to kind of like try to find where my place was in the political sphere, but I don't like labeling myself. I think labeling is one of the biggest problems we have in the US. I think labels are a terrible thing. Like when you put yourself into a certain category, you are essentially allowing yourself to get a label put on your forehead. It's like Republican, Democrat. It's like what I think a lot of people from the Democrat Party and a lot of people from the Republican Party would be libertarian if it was an actual, winning place to be. But it's since it's not, it's either it seems to be one or the other. They get divided into these categories where realistically there is a middle ground there, which just wants a smaller government. The government's gotten, the larger this machine gets, the more oil and gas it needs. And the more misappropriation. I like to say the larger the government gets, the more misappropriated the money becomes. And I think we see that. The fact that they can't even, like, they really thought 600 was enough. They really thought that. They're like, yeah, 600, that'll help, 600. It's like, so that means this entire time, this entire year of being shut down, you would give 1,200 and then 600 for 1,800, which is what, barely over like what is that, $160 a month or something like that, $150 a month if you divide it by how many months we've been shut down. I mean, based on how much money has been burned. That's why I actually like that Andrew Yang candidate in the universal basic income of 1,000, because like if you took away welfare, you took away all the money that things are getting wasted on, in a sense. I don't want to say, I guess not, I don't want to say wasted, I don't want to use the wrong terms, but if you just said you either get 1,000, take 1,000, or don't. But if you get 1,000, you get 1,000, do whatever you need with universal basic income. So under his policy, everybody, regardless of if there was the pandemic or not, would have got 12,000 a year under Andrew Yang's policy. And it sounds crazy at first, but with how much money they are just throwing out there and wasting, just throwing out there, poofing away and wasting, it's like, it's not really that much. It sounds like a lot, but judging by the fact they printed $10 trillion, they printed, to think that they actually printed gold's market cap in 2020. All the gold in the world, they printed its entire market cap in 2020. And people don't think Bitcoin could get up, to the multi-trillions range. Of course it could. Of course it could. The barrier of entry is lower than ever before to buy Bitcoin. You can easily get it. It's like it's become a compulsive situation where, oh, I sold a good on PayPal. I got, a few grand in PayPal. I could just switch it over to I might as well switch it over to Bitcoin. You know how much that's happening right now because of the ease of entry? It's different than when just only Coinbase was the only way to get Bitcoin. These apps have made it a compulsive buy to get into Bitcoin, which it's a crazy situation. I know I kind of took a little bit of a curve from that, but it's a very interesting time that we're in, that this is all happening. You know, it's like it's crazy that there is something like Bitcoin that actually exists right now. You would think that this is a concept on a white paper and it's not actually out yet, but it is out. It is real, and it's on. You can actually be transacting in this. You can actually have your own bank in Bitcoin. You can actually have your own hard wallet and store your assets there. It's like it's just a crazy system. Sorry, I get on a little bit of tangents, but let's keep going through these comments here. That was Matt Maloney. I don't agree with him. It's just political views. You cannot deny that the majority of gold bugs, especially Peter Schiff, are, I got to say certain words on this, otherwise I don't get promoted by the YouTube algorithm. Speaking of the YouTube algorithm, if you want to smash that like button, we got 47 people in the live feed tonight. Thank you for being here on a Saturday night. Thank you, all 47 of you. If you guys smash that like button, it really helps the channel and it helps this message get out to more people. If you agree with this message, if you smash that like button, it really, really does help. I know I say it, I know all the other YouTubers are like, oh, smash the like button, hit subscribe, smash the like button, hit subscribe. Those two things, it makes your channel get a lot more exposure and it helps it get out to the masses. And so I really appreciate it if you do decide to hit that like button. It really does help. But I thank you all of you just for being here. Thank you. But I am still reading through these comments. So back to that comment. I think other people can read Tan's comment over here. Schiff R, you know, he says schmucks who voluntarily choose to be blind to the reality of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Yes. To think that you could say Bitcoin is just a zero, you can be skeptical. You can be skeptical. I'm skeptical. You can say that this possible scenario could happen if there was, you know, a solar flare, if there was this that took out the internet. Part of me thinks that Elon Musk is doing Starlink so that everybody has internet being decentralized, which would be beautiful. That's just a random thought that I've had for a while, because it's like, okay, well, if he puts satellites, I don't think this is only about Mars. I think that might be a ploy to let him be able to do this rocket thing. I think he might be saying that it's like, it's for Mars. It's for Mars. That's it. Just Mars, you know, I've got something in my eye, Mars. That's it. It seems that it's, if you were to truly decentralize information and decentralize money, you would have satellites in the sky that nobody could get to it. Nobody could take the internet away. Nobody could take the money out of the sky. Nobody could take the information out of the sky that you can get out of the internet. Internet would be faster speeds than ever before. I genuinely think Elon Musk sat in a corner of a room one day after he sold PayPal and was like, what's the biggest industries to disrupt ever? Energy, cars, putting satellites in the sky. Seems about, yep, I'm going after all those things, you know, so that would be the ultimate. You can't stop Bitcoin if they put the satellites up in the sky that were decentralized. It was like a decentralized internet in a way. I think we'll probably get to that at some point. But yeah, back to that, you can be skeptical. It's fine to be skeptical, but to say something is a complete zero, it's a complete zero. It's a waste of time. There is nothing. It's like, come on, man. Come on. There's no way this is a complete zero. There's to have nearly $1 trillion market cap, some serious money in it. It's not nearly where it should be, but to say it's a zero, I'm fine with being skeptical, but being closed-minded is a whole different thing. So I do agree with you. I don't agree with some of the word choices. We got to be a little bit more PG. Jose de Roman, on silver, you're in for just the weight or stack premium stuff too. A lot of people know me as being into the vintage scene. I have my own vintage collection of silver that I lost in a tragic boating accident. Just going around, we say. But I enjoy vintage collectibles because it is something that is finite. There is a limited amount of them. I do believe in limited quantity things going up in value. Ironically enough, vintage silver and rare silver has gone up more in value than just the silver itself. The collector community, because of social media, the collector communities and all collector communities, whether it's Rolexes, whether it's, Pateks, whether like we're talking about watches, whether it's numismatic coins, whether it's vintage bullion, whether it's just plain silver and gold, the collector industry has grown so much, and the amount of collectors that are talking with each other now is growing at such an exponential rate because of social media, because of Facebook, because of Instagram, because of us being able to connect the way we are right now. The collectible industry is just growing and growing and growing. So I'm both. One of my favorite places to be right now is like vintage 100-ounce bars. If you're in my Facebook group, go to Wholesale Precious Metals. I do, like an auction there once a week, and we do a lot of sales in the Facebook group. If you want to go to check that out, there's information on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram, there's information on that. Otherwise, just shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll happy to let you in the Facebook group where we do a lot of trading. But I like the vintage 100-ounce bars because you have to pay a bit of a premium, but you have the intrinsic value of the silver. So the premium might be there, but it's not too much of a premium compared to the intrinsic value of the weight of the silver. I hope that kind of answers the question. I believe in both. If that makes sense. What's your silver stack? What's in your silver stack? Vintage 100-ounce bars, vintage, smaller rare bars, just, standard, your Inglehards, your 100-ounce JM, stuff like that. If people, I got my own little collection of things. Eventually I might share my collection, but I'm a squirrel. A lot of people's spirit animal is like a tiger or a lion or, but I am a squirrel. I have acorns I forgot about. I got an attention span that kind of goes in different directions. So I would say my spirit animal is a squirrel. And because of that, I got all kinds of precious metals that I've forgotten about. Acorns everywhere. Rob, what was your Instagram? My Instagram is at Rob Soltan. So if you look at my name on YouTube, just literally at Rob Soltan. I'm stoked I got that. Nobody had it. I got my actual name on Instagram. So just at Rob Soltan. One word. Same as YouTube. But yeah, it's easy to do an impromptu like live on Instagram. On here, I got to set up the webcam and everything. I think YouTube is kind of the number one platform as social media goes, but Instagram has its own perks to it as well. So appreciate you guys following the Instagram. Let me read through some more of these. My left 10-ounce bar is a Provident Metals bar. Personally, I'd be trying to get like semi-vintage bars like JM and Inglehart 10-ounce bars, whether it's just the pressed ones or stuff that's a little bit more limited, because the Provident, there's just a modern company that you can just get those. They used to make wooden warships for the Navy, and steel ships were invented. Forgive me when I say this, but gold is the equivalent of wooden warships in that story. I know where you're going with it. I just think that I think Bitcoin is bigger than gold. I think Bitcoin is bigger than gold, but I think gold will easily be able to go up, and it is far less volatile than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin there is a possibility of Bitcoin not succeeding. As it gets bigger and bigger like this, as it keeps growing, it has a less likelihood of it has a less likelihood that it wouldn't succeed. So it's looking more and more likely that it will succeed. But gold is gold. Personally, it's the third position in my metals portfolio. I believe in silver and platinum first before gold, which some people would think that's crazy that I like platinum more than gold, but that's just me. I think silver and platinum are the best places to be in precious metals. But that being said, I don't think Bitcoin is something that is taking away from gold. I think it is putting the spotlight on gold. And I think people will, if you are up tremendously on Bitcoin, as many of us are, and somebody offers you some beautiful St. Gaudens coins, I still love numismatics. I still love my collectible coins. I love looking at the history. I don't see that going away. I don't see that stored value in the collectible industry in gold and silver and platinum. I don't see that going away. I see people being willing to buy a Rolex, a solid gold Rolex. A lot of people see my solid gold Rolex and they think, oh, it's a flashy gold Rolex. That Rolex went up $5,000 in value since I bought it. Every day I wear that gold Rolex, it goes up in value. And to think, and someday in the future, I might want to sell that gold Rolex and go, okay, I'll take 30,000 in Bitcoin for my gold Rolex. Fine. You know, I don't see gold going away. I just see Bitcoin as being an easier medium to exchange with. Um, it's like the currency to buy gold. So it's not that gold's a nothing. It's that there needs to be a medium to use to buy gold and to buy collectibles and to buy these things. And to say that people are not going to want to hold any tangibles ever again because of Bitcoin, I doubt that. As humans, we love holding tangible money. We love holding something that we love being able to actually hold our money in our hand. So that feeling from gold and silver. That being said, I think silver and platinum have way more upside than gold. I've gone on the record saying that many times. I specialize in silver and platinum with mineral exchange. I believe in those two metals far more than gold. The reason for that is platinum and silver is not controlled by anybody. Who owns most of the gold in the world? Who owns most of the gold in the world? I don't think, a lot of it's in Fort Knox. A lot of it's, in different places controlled by central parties. That's the reason why there is more gold in the world than there is silver, is because it's just sitting there in vaults. And who owns most of the vaults? And do they want to see gold replace their fiat currency? If they were smart, they'd go back to a gold standard before Bitcoin, absorbs all of fiat currency and just completely continues to be this javelin headed for this balloon of fiat currency. But they're not doing that. They're like kids that got caught stealing or something over at the Fed, and they're like, no, I didn't do none. I didn't do no wrong. We didn't do no wrong over here. I'm just poof pal. We just poof money. We're fine. We just run this crazy circus show. They don't want to own up to it. If they did, we could see a situation where, there was some hope. There was a recent appointee to the Fed that was a gold standard advocate, and there was some hope there, but I just don't see them owning up to it and going back to a gold standard in the near future. If that did happen, that's your bull case for gold. If you did see a gold standard, like say the government decided to go, okay, we need to back our money to something now. We are saying we came out with the Fed coin, and the Fed coin is back to gold in Fort Knox. That would be the gold scenario to skyrocket. Something like that could happen. So it is a possibility. So to say it's only wooden ships, this is me still on that one comment. I get off on tangents. I told you I'm a squirrel. I don't see gold being a nothing. I see Bitcoin being a beautiful, elegant medium to be using for exchange and highly necessary. I can't stress enough that I see Bitcoin as hope. I see Bitcoin as hope. I agree 100% with Michael Saylor. The only thing I disagree with Michael Saylor on is that I come from the collectibles industry, and I think that we will always be wanting tangible assets as humans. We're always going to want something collectible. We're always going to want a different watch, a different coin, something that has history to it. I don't think we're just going to go solely digital and never want a collectible, never want a tangible thing again. I disagree with that. But again, I can't believe there's in this live feed, there's people that just gave me $5. I didn't even realize that you could do that. That's crazy to me. I just randomly was sitting at home and I'm like, you know what? I'm going live. I want to talk to people here on YouTube and do a live feed. How long? We've been live for an hour and almost 30 minutes. An hour and almost 30 minutes. That's crazy. But maybe we do this once a week. Maybe we do this live feed thing like once a week. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll kind of announce when I'm going to do the live there maybe, and be able to do like a once a week consistent schedule of being able to actually do Q&A, because when metals falls like it did on Friday, there's a lot to talk about, and we're all skeptical right now. We're all trying to navigate. And so here, maybe we can navigate together and build a little bit more of a community where we can answer each other's questions. Again, there's other people reading your comments over here in addition to me. So it's kind of a beautiful thing that we have. Let's keep going through these comments. Jose, get 10-ounce bar. Roberts, don't mind me asking, how much did you gain from Tesla stocks? I think I answered that. I never cared about gold bugs being indifferent about Bitcoin until they began bashing the crypto community on social media, which I find very distasteful. If you hate it, just shut up and leave us alone. Very fair. Very fair. I respect everybody from the gold industry because I'm obviously a gold dealer and I believe in precious metals, but I also respect everybody from the crypto community. That's why it'd be a very interesting debate between me and Peter Schiff, because I am a gold bug. All the people he talks to are not true gold bugs. I'm from the gold and silver world. I'm from the collectibles world. I am literally from his world, and I give better prices on precious metals than Schiff gold. But anyway, sorry, I shouldn't be saying that. But it would be an interesting debate because I actually believe in both. I believe in both. I really do. I think that Bitcoin is a driving force and a front runner for precious metals. Reason being, both those market caps are so small, and there's so much upside there with the finite assets from taking this money away from fiat currency. Every time somebody buys a $2,000 ounce of gold, they are taking $2,000 of fiat and burning it and putting it into gold. Every time somebody is buying a $40,000 Bitcoin, they are taking $40,000 of fiat currency and burning it and putting it into Bitcoin. I see that continuing to go, and I see them both helping each other. I don't see them as a negative. I don't see them taking gold's market cap away. I don't see that happening. I think that's a lot of smoke and mirrors on Friday, and we will see what happens next week. It might go down a little bit more, but it might be a situation where the big whales want to get a better entry on precious metals before the inevitable happens. That's what I personally think. Usually good assets drop in value so other people can get in at a good price. That happen to be more in the know. That's what I think. Silver's been falsely suppressed for so long, so much so that actually JP Morgan got investigated and proven, I believe they settled with it. So they were actually guilty, of holding down the precious metals market. Diamond, Jamie Dimon, not a good man in my opinion. Keep going through the comments. What was your Instagram? At Rob Soltan on Instagram, just same as my YouTube, at Rob Soltan. I'm there and available, and I will answer your DM there. Bitcoin will replace the bankers. Let's hope on it. Let's hope on it. If government sees Bitcoin as a threat, can they jump into regulate or tax it? No. Well, they can try. They can try. That's why if you have it on an exchange, if Coinbase goes public, they're talking about bringing Coinbase public and having an IPO with Coinbase, which is very nerve-wracking. Yeah, it's like nails on a chalkboard, because if it does go public, then you're talking about SEC regulations, you're talking about all kinds of regulations on the exchange where most of the people hold their Bitcoin, and most of them don't know how to take it out and put it into a hard wallet and actually be a real bank. They think having it in Coinbase is that. The reason why Cash App is limiting the amount that you can withdraw of Bitcoin, because when you withdraw it, then you actually own the Bitcoin. When it's on Cash App server, they own the Bitcoin, and Cash App is Square, and Square is a publicly traded company, which has regulations, and to get to Bitcoin, like you could, as a government, you could go in and go after Coinbase, and go after their, them as a company, and then all the coins that they hold for all the people that hold Coinbase, guys like us, or guys that have, their own banks, Bitcoin would probably skyrocket because maybe coins would get confiscated off the exchanges like Gemini, like Coinbase, like Cash App, because they just allow you to buy Bitcoin. But the key is to learn about it and learn how to put it into a hard wallet and actually own it in the bank. So that would be my kind of answer to that. I hope that helps. I've thought about that quite a bit. Let me keep going through these comments here. I am reading all the comments, guys, all of them. I have to go up a little bit. I think there's been a few comments. All right, learned a lot today. Appreciate it. I said I love gold as well. Every video. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. That was Dave George. Appreciate that, Dave George. What's the smallest amount of ounces you would buy in gold or grams? I'm not sure I understand the question. Like grams is usually the smallest amount. There's some, like, I guess, really, really fractional amounts of gold. Personally, I don't really like the fractional stuff because you're not really making an investment. There's usually a big premium on fractionals. Unless it's like a really cool collectible, then I'm in. That's interesting to think about. What's your Instagram? I think I answered that one. Bitcoin. Okay, I've been through these. I missed the dip at 2464. Closes at 25. Yeah, it did have a very heavy dip in silver. I really think it's smoke and mirrors. I really think it's smoke and mirrors so that the big institutions and the big hedge funds and the central banks can gobble this stuff up on the cheap from the retail. It goes back to that thing, is like, just because they say silver is 25 an ounce doesn't mean I'm willing to sell mine for 25 an ounce. Just because they say that doesn't mean us, stackers are willing to be like, okay, here you go for 25 an ounce. It doesn't work that way. When it has a severe fall like that, all the dealers, all the people storing silver literally say, oh, we don't have any. Go to CoinShop. They're like, oh, we ran out. We ran out. Or there's a huge premium on it. So it's just because they say it's a price doesn't mean we're willing to do that. I think it's this seems like manipulation to me. That's my personal take on it. I have a silver bar from the SS Sopa too. Right on. Right on. I got one of them as well. One of those in the deep stack. That one, I bought that back when silver was like much less. This is a collectible that obviously has a big premium on it, but I bought that back when silver was like 16, I want to say 16 or 15. I've been sitting on I have that in a super cool government assay bar, 1,000-ounce government assay bar in 1,000-ounce class. But very cool that you have a Sopa as well. Very limited amount of them. I think there's only like 400 and some odd amount of Sopas out there. Bitcoin premiums. They could hack your Trezor wallet for sure if they have it in hand, but not your private key virtually unless it is leaked by you or custodian. Exactly. So it is key to stash your Trezor. I mean, the idea that a super advanced hacker could find your specific wallet and find that worth their time to spend all that time to hack your specific wallet after stealing your specific wallet from you, it's a pretty big long shot. But if the most important thing is your seed, because if somebody has your seed, if someone has your information, they can literally put it onto a different hard wallet and just completely steal all your Bitcoin. So your seed is your most important information that you store either on, they make these little metal wallets and stuff that you can put your seed phrases inside of those. So it's like an indestructible wallet. And a lot of people now, including myself, memorize them. You can memorize the 10 words and just, I mean, we studied, think of all of the crazy things we all studied in college and high school, all this useless information that we jammed into our skulls to memorize for a test. And it's so hard to memorize 10 words. Like, oh, I can't memorize my seed phrase. It's like, how many things did you memorize? How many useless things did you memorize? How many flashcards? You can't memorize. Get your flashcards out. Write your 10 seed phrases on it. Don't take a photo of it. Don't store your seed phrases anywhere. Just memorize them. Put them on flashcards. Memorize them. And if you really are good at memorizing them, it's probably good to still stash something somewhere very, very hidden. But you could burn them and then memorize them, put them in your head. Nobody could ever take your money ever, period, because you memorized them in your head. But sorry, I just got off on a little tangent there. I prefer gold to the store of value. Bitcoin can be it's more of a utility. It has much more utility than precious metals. Precious metals is better storage. Well, Bitcoin is storage as well, but I'm a mixture of both. I really am a mixture of both, especially silver and platinum being industrial metals, and they're so undervalued. That's the way I diversify in decentralized assets myself. But Bitcoin has far more utility. As means of payment and exchange. Hackers usually attack exchanges because you would most likely think something with the power of quantum computing to piece together a random private key you didn't know existed out of thin air. Exactly. If your money is connected to the internet, if your Bitcoin are connected to the internet, that's how hackers get to it. If your money right here, this wallet right here, this hard wallet that can have Bitcoin on it is not connected to any internet. It's not connected even to any power. You can click all the buttons on it. You can do whatever you want. It ain't turning on because it's in the cold storage. That's why they call it cold storage. It's not connected to any electricity or any internet. So it's impossible to hack it unless you stole this, were a extremely good hacker and knew how to get into it. And then you could maybe get it that way. But very, very, very few people would be capable of doing that if you have to actually steal this wallet and being a very advanced hacker. And I imagine they're just going to get better and better about the hard wallet quality in the future on them. So it's just a matter of time before these get even more secure and more, hackers can't get into them. But certainly if you have your stuff in Coinbase, if you have your stuff in Cash App, your Bitcoins are connected to the internet. Or if you have a wallet that is, online based or app based on your phone, it's connected to the internet. So it is the most viable because a hacker can get into your device because it's connected to the internet. If it's not connected to the internet, the chances of it being stolen from you are very, very slim. I would say less than 0.5%, like fractional amount of a percentage. Either way, fiat will be printed into oblivion soon. I agree. Yeah, any hard wallets that I could recommend. That's actually what I'm doing right now. I literally have bought 7 different hard wallets. This is one of them. This is called a, I should make these companies pay me or something. This is called a Safe Pal. This is actually one of the cheapest ones. I think it's like 40, 50 bucks, but it's very advanced looking and it actually has a camera on it. So I'm like, how did you get all this when Trezor is this little dinky thing with no camera or nothing? And this is you got all of that for 40. Kind of interesting. I'm just dabbling with them and putting like a few bucks, putting 20 bucks, 100 bucks and playing with them and figuring out how to transfer from them, how to do that, because I don't want to. I could make a video right away while Bitcoin is, super hot on YouTube and make a bunch of YouTube videos with talking hands. I always make fun of the talking hands channels, but I got to learn about this. I have to actually feel it and do it myself, and then I can comment on it. So I'm currently testing. I don't have any to recommend right now, but I am testing them all. I'm testing the Trezor, I'm testing the Ledger, I'm testing the SafePal. I'm getting the next one I get coming in is the Kobo wallet. I think Kobo Vault is one of them I got coming in. I've got, I think I want to buy all of them. I think I'll buy every single hard wallet that's made. There's got to be only like 20 of them or something. I'll buy one of every single one of them made, and we'll do like the ultimate hard wallet showdown video or something. I'll just buy them all. None of them sponsor me. Maybe one day they'll sponsor me or something, but I'll just buy them all myself. Why not? I like the concept of crypto, but I like privacy. Crypto is very private if you know how to use it, which I plan on this channel to help people a lot more. Yeah, any hard wallets, I recommend. I just answered that. Love your streams. Keep doing more. Hey, thank you, man. This is the first live stream, by the way. This is the first live stream. Really appreciate you all being here. If you haven't smashed that like button, it really would help. If you want to smash the like button, really helps the video reach out. We'll probably end it here soon enough, so I'll get into some of these last comments here, and we'll keep doing some Q&A here. But maybe, I mean, we've been live for 1 hour and 40 minutes. Time flies in these live feeds. Wow, that's the longest video I've ever done. It's the longest video I've ever done. So I appreciate you all being part of this. It's the best hardware wallet. Either way, if you consider 1 ounce bars fractional? No, 1 ounce bars I do not consider to be fractional. I don't, well, fractional, but not like, when I say fractional, I'm being like overvalued. You can get a 1 ounce bar for close to spot. So it's, when I say fractional, I mean like a gram of gold that if you multiplied it out by 31.1 and got a full ounce, it'd be way huge premium on it due to it being such a small size when I say fractional. And don't buy when it comes to platinum. Definitely don't buy fractional platinum. It's so overvalued. Go to eBay and look up like a gram of platinum. So ridiculously overpriced. Hey, thank you for Ace, you gave me $2. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, bro. It's the principle of that it means a lot to me, man. Thank you, bro. It really means a lot. If they steal your physical hard wallet, you just need to move your crypto using your keys to a new wallet before they can hack the stolen hard wallet. If they steal your physical hard wallet, you just need to move your crypto using your keys to a new wallet before they hack the stolen hard. Exactly. The seed phrase. That's why I say, put it on flashcards. You have to memorize them in order. Put them on flashcards. If there's one test of all the tests we've done in our lives, in college, and all of the useless information we jammed in our head, all those flashcards, all that stress that they put on our young infant little brains, that's a pretty good one, to put 10 small words on a flashcard and memorize them. Memorize your seed phrase. That is your bank. That is your money. That's the best thing you could possibly do. That is the best advice I could ever give on having a hard wallet. But then on top of that, buying one, like, they're kind of expensive, the metal cards that you can put the seed phrases on. If you look on like Amazon, look up just look up hard wallet and like dabble around, look them up on eBay and Amazon and whatnot, and see, these different things that they have to store your seed phrases. But then again, if you have it in tangible form that you can actually touch your seed phrase, where you have it on one of those metal wallets, and it's like when I say it's like a metal thing with kind of like the braille type lettering. So if your word was just say this word over there, guitar. One of your words is guitar. It says guitar, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and you have 10 different words, and those are your words that link up to your Bitcoin. That's your seed phrase. So when you have that in tangible form, if somebody got to that, they have your money. That's how important the seed is. So make sure, that's why I say memorize it. If you're like in a like Venezuela or in India, where they've made it so that I think it might be illegal to have cryptocurrency in India. But if you've memorized your seed phrase, you don't even need your hard wallet. If you've memorized your seed phrase, which is it's so beautiful. Like that's why I say Bitcoin is hope. It's like it's so beautiful that nobody can confiscate it. It's in your head. It's in your head. It just it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But yeah, I highly recommend memorizing it. In addition, if you want to store it, in addition to that, memorizing is very important. I can buy a few ounces now. I want to get some. Well, it's a decent price. Do you consider 1 ounce bars a fraction? Blah, blah, blah. So I want to buy a 10-ounce bar, but it'll be a couple months until I can afford it. But I can buy a few ounces now and want to get some while it's at a decent price. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram, man. I appreciate you giving me $2. That means a lot to me. I'll make sure you're well taken care of. Shoot me a DM and say I'm Ace Genosis, and I'll get you some silver. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Well, I'll take care of you on more of a personal basis. Just shoot me a DM and say I'm Ace Genosis, or maybe put a comment on one of my photos so I can really see you and say that, and I will make sure you're taken care of on silver. You're in the U.S., right? If you're in the U.S., I got you covered, man. If they steal your physical hard wallet, you just need to move your crypto using your keys to a new wallet. You say right on. Shoot me a DM. Shoot me a DM. If you're just looking for some silver, I'll get you some cool stuff. I'll get you some cool silver. Platinum can be used in the hydrogen fuel cell industry. True. I think platinum is such a unique. I always say it has a unique skill set. Like I like to humanize platinum in a way because it's a very unique metal where it's more dense than gold. It is more durable than gold. It is harder to refine than gold. If you wanted to have like the ultimate tangible, it would be platinum because it's like how the way Bitcoin hardens over time and gets harder and harder to shoot a Bitcoin out algorithmically from these computers. Platinum is not mined yet. There's still most of the platinum is in the Earth's crust, much more so than gold. And it's much harder to refine it and make it into a bar. So platinum is very unique. Platinum is an extremely unique metal. But on top of that, the fact that it has a 3,000 degree melting point and all those different certain things with it, it's being used in the fuel cell industry. It's being used in a lot of different industries right now for the skill set that it has of being able to get extremely hot. And also the other interesting thing is, say with the catalytic converter, like, okay, well, it's dropped because catalytic converters they're not using platinum anymore, and we're moving towards electric cars. Isn't pollution still a problem? You're telling me platinum is a key component to clean the air and filter the air in a catalytic converter, and pollution isn't a problem anymore? I feel like there's going to be more use for platinum in different applications in the future. That's just my off the top of my head, just what I personally think is possible. But I really think platinum is interesting. Dave George, I ordered my first silver because of you, man. Watched a lot of your videos this last week and appreciate the value you give. I agree with you on accepting Bitcoin and metals. Appreciate you, Dave. That means a lot to me. It really, in the metals business and in the collectibles business, it's very, very cutthroat in a way where to get from like a very small dealer to moving large amounts of product in the collectibles industry, it's like everybody is headbutting. There is so much like animosity and people wanting to get what you got and wanting to one up you and everything. So being able to actually produce content and make these videos is like fulfilling to me, where I can be myself and I'm not in a super like dog eat dog world in a sense. And YouTube is like that. It's very competitive, but it is for me, my ability to be able to, my time that I can actually just be genuine and not have to be constantly being a salesman or constantly being competing with another dealer or whatever it might be in my collectibles industry. So it's really, it's fulfilling to me. So I really appreciate hearing stuff like that. And I appreciate the comments and everything that it's helped people, because it's like, it's finally, I'm able to do something that's actually fulfilling to me with these videos. It really is, it means a lot. Info ranker. It's hard to differentiate Bitcoin that it has stopped moving because someone lost the key versus just being, I'm sorry, I don't know if I understand. It's hard to differentiate Bitcoin that has stopped moving because someone lost the key versus just being saved. I'm not sure I understand the question there. You might be talking to I think you might be talking to somebody else on that. You can also create a Bitcoin transaction that destroys the coins on purpose. People have done it to permanently write information into the blockchain. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'll look into that. That's seems kind of painful with where Bitcoin is now. But yeah, definitely going to start doing these live feeds once a week. We're almost at 2 hours. Should we make it all the way to 2 hours? Do a 2-hour live stream for the first time we did this? I feel like that's a good number there. 2 hours. It's luckily this chair is kind of comfortable. Let's see if I can. There we go. It really does look like I'm in a bunker right now. I like your gold versus platinum video. A lot of info. Thank you, Joseph Romero. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you. You can also give. Oh, I just answered that. Will platinum price double in 2021? I mean, that's very specific. I mean, everything is just financial education based on my opinion. There's no, I can't say it for sure. So in my personal opinion, I think platinum should be worth more than gold right now. I think platinum is much more rare than gold and has much more utility than gold. I'm much more bullish on platinum than I am on gold. I have more platinum than I do gold. Excuse me. I hope that answers the question. I think it should be worth more than gold right now. Will it do that? I don't know. I think in the short term, it will probably go up. I'm thinking like 1,500 in 2021, if not a little higher. It could just start rapidly moving. I mean, it moved pretty dang quick from 800 to 1150. It moved pretty fast, and now it's what, down to 11 and change. So I mean, it could easily get to 1,500 quick and then start moving. Once people realize, it's like they say, like Mike Maloney says, "Oh, platinum's not money." It's like, oh, have you seen a platinum eagle? It's denominated as $100. The gold eagle is denominated as 50. Why is platinum worth double the price? Is because the government knew when they were making and minting the coins that there's a limited amount of platinum, so that it makes sense to make it a higher denomination. It is the black chip at the poker table. It is the more valuable chip. If they did it, that makes sense, you know. So I personally am big on platinum myself. We sell a lot of platinum through Mineral Exchange. Platinum is my #1 selling metal. Then silver next, and then gold after that. Will platinum price double in 2021? It was fun, Robert. Please do this once a week. Hey, Isaac Gutierrez, I really appreciate you being here, and I will do this once a week. We will get this on a more of a schedule with the Instagram. I think what I'll do is I'll start like posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram. Hey, I'm going to do the live at exactly this time. Maybe we do it every Saturday night, or maybe we do it every Sunday night, or Sunday at 3 o'clock, or something like that. We'll all kind of agree on a good time that fits the schedule, right? And we will do this once a week because this is a lot of fun. We still have 40 people in this live stream. 47 likes. We've gotten 47 likes. It's more than some of my videos, you know, and just in the middle of a live stream. That's amazing. I appreciate you guys hitting that like button. When you hit the like button, it actually makes this video get promoted and put out there in YouTube. So it really does help when you smash the like button. If the information here is useful, really, really does help. But it's crazy that I never did this live stream thing. I never even looked into it, and it's so cool to be able to actually read your comments in real time and do this live stream thing. It's a very unique situation here. I'm stoked on it. Do you utilize DeFi? I don't. I need to look into that. Actually, I'll write that down. DeFi. See, I'm on the journey with everybody. I have the basic sets of knowledge with crypto and with, you know, things that I know, but I'm learning something new every day. You know, that's kind of goes back to that Peter Schiff thing. It's like he's 100% Bitcoin is a zero without really knowing Bitcoin, because I have been every single day learning about hard wallets, learning about and testing hard wallets and testing these things and buying Bitcoin and moving Bitcoin and accepting Bitcoin. Peter Schiff is just saying, oh, it's a zero. It's a zero. And it's like, I could study this for years and still not be an expert. You know, you learn this, you learn more and more every single day, you know, so never put the blinders on, never call something a zero, always be willing to learn more information. Let me write this down. I literally put on my notepad DeFi. I'm going to look into that. He kind of looks like a James Bond villain in a top secret bunker, sitting in his chair, plotting to take over the Bitcoin world. I do need a cat. I've always wanted one of those. I've always had like a vision. I've literally had dreams about it, having like a Savannah cat. I wanted one of those Savannah cats because they're like these like lion, little cheetah looking things. I'm like, that would be pretty rad. I don't know if I'm too into cats, but having a little mini cheetah would be pretty great. Imagine going running down the street and you had a little mini cheetah. I'd get two of them and just run with my two little mini cheetahs. I want two of those Savannah cats. They're rad. XRP, I don't like it. XRP, I don't like it at all. It's not going to succeed against Bitcoin. Do you ever use options or futures to hedge? I love your content, man. Thank you. Hey, Austin, thank you, man. Austin Stringham, I really appreciate you saying that, bro. I did use options when I did Tesla. I had bought with Tesla back when it was at 300. I had 500 strike call options with a 1-year expiration, and then I changed those to 900 strike call options and made it another year expiration on that to January 2021. I sold those too soon. If I had hung on to those options, it was just like, I was up so much money that I'm like, you know what, I can use this money to run my company. And it was a sure thing. And with COVID and everything going on in the pandemic, I'm like, you know what, I got to take profits. I don't know what'll happen tomorrow. I don't believe in the dollar. I don't believe in the stock market. I did well on Tesla. But now if Tesla converted its assets to Bitcoin, if they actually changed the treasury over and now they have unlimited amounts of capital now, I mean, I would just be, if I was in Elon Musk's position right now with Tesla, I probably would be doing as many secondaries as I possibly could and getting as much cash off the free market as possible while my valuation was that high, and converting it over to Bitcoin and different assets and buying out companies and whatnot with the money. That's probably what I would be doing. I know the shareholders wouldn't want to hear that or something, but I think that the best thing you could possibly do while your company is this high is dilute, get all of that capital in and buy other companies out. And just do everything that you ever wanted to do, build more gigafactories, spend all of the money on all the different things, and then make it so that you have so much assets like Apple does, or anybody that has, 100 billion sitting there in cash. Tesla could have 100 billion sitting there in cash and just dilute their stock. That's what I would do if I was in charge of it. But anyway, yes, I did options. I know a lot about options trading. More long-term options. I don't do the short-term thing. I don't believe in short-term investing in general. Sorry, I just was moving my laptop screen here. Do you or will you use Bitcoin as a form of payment? I know they say HODL, but I have used my Bitcoin to buy metals. Absolutely. And I'm seeing that. I talked about that a little bit earlier in the live stream. It's like we've been doing that a lot in the metals world. People are, I'm talking some high-end dealers. I do a pretty good amount of sales myself, but there are some dealers out there that are doing large amounts in Bitcoin in the precious metals world. So I think it's happening, and it is continuing. I know it's happening, and it is going to continue to happen, where you have no central fiat currency involved in a trade for a collectible for Bitcoin, and vice versa. It's a really beautiful thing. Platinum is definitely money. Maloney just spends too much of his time in historical usage and only fail. Yeah, no, I don't know why he studies Egyptians and BC stuff, and it's like, get with the times, man. Get with the times. Again, I really respect Maloney a lot, but it's like, get with the times. It was money forever. It's been money forever, and it's never going to be money now because this was money forever. It's like Bitcoin didn't exist until 2007. Would have been nice to get some of that too. It wasn't money forever. Platinum was able to get refined only 300 something years ago. It's hard to refine platinum, so it wasn't even capable of being refined yet. But if they knew about it, if they knew like this one's extremely hard to refine, it takes 3,000 degrees to get this down, I mean, I think it was Cartier. I think like when you have Cartier jewelry, I think the person who created Cartier jewelry was the first person that figured out how to use platinum, and he was like the god of jewelry because of that. Um, I agree strongly about that. And there's a James Bond villain comment there. Mini Carol basket, mini Carol basket. My little mini Savannah cats. Yeah. At one point, I swear, at some point in my life, if I ever get successful enough and I have like a yard or something that can keep them corralled in there and give them a good life, same thing with a dog or whatever, I would definitely want some pets. And my pets would be little mini cheetahs and probably like a blue heeler dog, one of those little sheep dogs. Probably get one of those at some point. How does one invest in rare earth metals in Asia? I'm US based. I couldn't help you there, unfortunately. Please do more live content. It is great. ZTK, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I plan on doing this once a week. I agree. That's a long way down the road. Though, if government success, wait, here's a comment at the top of that. The whales are buying up XRP, I think. I don't agree. I don't think XRP is a good one. I think Bitcoin really is where it is for a reason. I don't like XRP myself. It's just too many of them. It's too diluted. First, I want to say thanks for answering. I'd like to know if you think Bitcoin price will fall to 20K before it increases again. This is a great question. I'm going to get to all the questions here beneath this CV program. Ace Juno says, what's my opinion on XRP? I just said that. And I appreciate you, Ace, but I don't like XRP myself. I'm not a fan of it. Look at how small its market cap is. If you have a reserve crypto, if a crypto is going to be a reserve asset, one of them is going to really be the reserve currency of the crypto world. It's not going to be XRP. It's minuscule. I mean, Bitcoin owns what is it? The entire crypto space is what, 800 billion now, and Bitcoin is like 600, 700 billion of that. It's more than 2/3 of the crypto market cap. All the thousands of cryptos out there, Bitcoin is more than 2/3 of it. So it's like, which one's going to be the reserve currency? Which one's going to get all the institutions piling in? Like the argument Mike Maloney has for gold and silver, that all the institutions, everything are going to go into gold and silver, not platinum. That really is, it's not true for that. I think they're going to start buying platinum too. But Bitcoin is like, if you were going to go to one crypto, it's going to be Bitcoin. It's perfect. It's elegant. Its blockchain is the most secure because it is the largest blockchain. I believe in Bitcoin. I'm literally only Bitcoin. When I say I'm in crypto, I want to really say this. I only hold Bitcoin. Personally, I only hold Bitcoin. I don't believe in any single alt. The only other one I am interested in is Ethereum because I'm a big fan of Vitalik, and I think that he's a very smart programmer. He's a genius, Vitalik, a genuine genius. So I'm interested in learning more about Ethereum, but Bitcoin only for me. Bitcoin only. I'm not interested in any other alts. I want to just like firmly say that. That's just my personal opinion on it. I kind of hold the same argument as like Kathy Wood from ARK Invest. Keep it up, Rob. I really like your vids on platinum. I have been researching the rhodium and similar metals like palladium, etc. And boy, they seem great. I have read about rhodium's not very liquid and hard to get full price it's worth, but still, even if you got 10K or so, that's Bitcoin level gain. It's true. I sold I think I sold 5 ounces of rhodium back when it was like 2,000. I'm like, should have kept those. And I think the client that I sold those to still has them, and I'm like, could have, should have, would have, should have kept those. I don't know. I remember I had them, and I'm like, I had those like the Baird 1 ounce rhodiums. He got a good deal. I didn't. But yeah, rhodium, the gains in rhodium is like insanity. The whales are buying up XRP, I think. If government accepted Bitcoin for paying taxes, it would be amazing. Public access to transactions they would make and actually see where the tax dollars go. That's a long way. Oh, that's what that comment for. I agree. I mean, the thing about I'm kind of an extremist when it comes to being libertarian, where I just believe that government should be small. Look, I'm from California, right? We have higher taxes here than any other state, and the streets in LA are just littered potholes everywhere. And it's like, what do we pay our car registrations for? Like, don't we pay all these taxes on our cars and whatnot to fix the roads so that we have good transportation and we can, like, where does this money go? What are you guys doing here? You know, you spend all of this money on stuff, you know, it's like, if they can't figure it out now, they're never going to figure it out. They're getting more tax money than ever before. And I say that in kind of like, I'm sad about it. It bothers me. It really bothers me that the money, we just don't know where it goes. I'd love to see the tax money be blockchain based, so you could actually publicly document the ledger and go, okay, they spent this much on that, they spent this much on that, they spent this much, but they wouldn't want to do that. They wouldn't want to do that. It's like some kid that gets to go to detention with no teacher in the class and nobody watching him in detention. It's like now somebody has to watch them. It's like, which one would they vote for? You know, the kid's gonna be like, I don't want anybody watching. I want to be dilly-dallying on my phone and whatnot. You know, and that's kind of how they are in our government, unfortunately. Peter isn't wrong. He is just applying the definition of application of Bitcoin replacing gold as 2.0 gold and can't let go of that. But he does get that it is a speculative asset. Yeah, but he's really bashing on it. Like, Bitcoin guys, I don't think bash on gold as much as Peter Schiff bashes on Bitcoin, I guess. Just my personal opinion on it. How does one invest in original? Okay, now we're getting. I thought you took notes from our next prez on being in the basement. No political stuff, guys. No political stuff. That's funny though. Best hardware wallet. I'm literally testing them right now. I have like 7 of them coming in. I'll buy every single hardware wallet. So if there's a hardware wallet I missed out on, shoot me a DM on Instagram and remind me. What's the problem with having millions in fiat is how the hell do I get rid of it without losing my wealth? Bitcoin would help. But that's the thing. It's like it's foolish to go all in on Bitcoin. It is foolish to have none of Bitcoin. That's how I genuinely think of Bitcoin. That's my personal opinion. I think that really actually helps when you think about that. What's the best stock investing app in your opinion? Hang on, Crypto Student. What's the best stock investing app in your opinion? I think TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. Last year, I lived in rare earth capital of China and arguably the world, but I've never seen so many BMWs and Mercedes. Interesting. They're very wealthy over there. They're very wealthy over there. People got that very confused sometimes. This was a good excuse to stop charting and trading for an hour or so. Thanks. Crypto Student hooked me up with $5. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. And what hypes me up about that is that's just genuinely just shooting me $5 because you didn't even have a question or anything. You're like, this was a good excuse. It's like, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. Seriously, thank you. Theta should be the Tesla of cryptos when it moves on from Bitcoin. I'd have to do more research to comment on that. Personally, I'm just Bitcoin. Market cap for crypto is over $1 trillion now, and Bitcoin is 650 billion, if I'm not mistaken. You can look up coin market cap. You put up cryptocurrency market cap, like in Google. There's like a coin market cap app or something like that, or a website, and you can see all that information. And I think you're probably pretty close. You're probably pretty close. It sounds about right. Market cap for crypto is about $1 trillion, something like that. Maybe it might be a little less. It might be a little less, but it's about $1 trillion. Maybe actually some around those range. I mean Tesla in terms of cars and the way Model S is in comparison to. Interesting. I'll look into it. Theta. I'll look into it also. The Model T from Henry Ford. Ethereum is on fire too. Something about China potentially moving towards it as a viable currency. Ethereum, Vitalik is no joke. The person who founded Ethereum is no joke. Vitalik is the real deal. I'm a big fan of his. We did over 2 hours. I said I was going to do 2 hours. We're at 2 hours and 8 minutes now. We've done a long live feed, everybody. If you haven't smashed that like button, please smash the like button. Hopefully we can get this video out there to more people. There might be some good content for the masses to see. If you want to smash that like button, really, really appreciate it. Let's get through some more of these comments here. Yeah, Bitcoin was like the Amazon of all wish type sites. There are 1,000 hacking branches of evil who are striking at the root. Henry David Thoreau. There are 1,000 hacking at the branches of evil to one who is striking at the root. I like that. I like that. There are 1,000 hacking at the branches of evil to one who is striking. There are 1,000 branches attacking. Sorry, my brain is. I've been doing this live here for a while. There are 1,000 hacking at the branches of evil to one who is striking at the root. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. It's true. Theoretically, anyone that is constitutional American is by definition a libertarian, as the founder himself, other than Hamilton, all were. And Hamilton was, I'm not a big fan of his. He had some pretty wild philosophies out there. But I mean, even like Socrates and stuff was, they were very, very much opposed to democracy. Some say it was like the reason that Athens fell or something along those lines. But there's a video I watched on why Socrates was so against democracy. And it's really because democracy is two wolves and a lamb deciding what to eat for dinner. And it's like when you're the lamb and you're the regular citizen, you're like, oh, you're both wolves. Don't like this very much, and it doesn't look very good for me. And you're, as a libertarian, you're kind of the sheep, and it's like you got two wolves after you, and there's nothing you can do in a sense. So it's like it's the reason why in the Pledge of Allegiance it says, "And to the republic for which it stands." It's they could have said "into the democracy for which it stands," but they didn't. They said "to the republic." That doesn't mean Republican. That doesn't mean anything very political. It just means, well, kind of, I guess, but not like the actual party. It just means individual people have their sovereignty. Individual people have their sovereignty, and individual people have their own rights. If everybody voted to take your bike from you, and you don't want to give away your bike, it's like, but they voted. There's more than 51% that want to take your bike. It's like, well, I like my bike, and I worked hard for my bike. But it's like, nope, but 51% of them voted to take your bike from you, Rob. It's like, but I like my bike, you know? It's like, so it's kind of, that becomes a bad situation, and that's why Socrates was so against it. The problem is the system right now is like there is no solution other than something like Bitcoin coming out and fixing it, you know? California moved to Texas like Joe Rogan. You're getting taken for tax money. I am looking into other states. I have been looking into Vegas. I have been looking into Arizona. I have been looking into Texas. I'm born and raised in California, so it's hard. It's beautiful. It's beautiful here. So it's hard, but I do tend to agree. At least form an LLC somewhere else if those kinds, or have another residence somewhere else. Does anyone following our founders view the nation as the idea of the U.S. would need to be libertarian to fit in the criteria? I agree with you. I agree with you. Well said. That platinum call seems to be playing out. It has been playing out. I've done pretty decent on my platinum. It's funny. It's like my platinum position, I think it went up, what, 30% or something, 40%. And so it's like, wow, I did really well on my platinum position. But then you see what my Bitcoin position did. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know how I have this many Bitcoin. Like, this is crazy. It just, I haven't realized any of my gains in Bitcoin. So I just kind of like trying to wrap my head around it, I guess. But I'm not selling in my Bitcoin. I haven't sold any yet. So it could crash, and Peter Schiff could come and laugh in my face. You never know. But excuse me, I genuinely see Bitcoin almost as charity, in a sense, like charity that has tremendous upside. Because if it succeeds, it's beautiful, it's elegant, it's hope. It's like it's finally, you know, it's like the republic of currency, you know, where people have their individual sovereignty again and can retain their sovereignty in their head, store their seed phrase in their head. So I can only imagine if I was like in India or Venezuela or places where this is like so badly needed that it's life-saving. In the US, it's like we still have something that is viable and won't be probably in the near future, but it's not like other places that this literally changes their life. So there's some sort of beautiful elegance to that really, it strikes different. Your Gov said they have so much. I'm gonna get to the like 20 more of these comments or something, and then we're gonna call it a night because I've been on this live feed for 2 hours and 13 minutes. I'm surprised these wireless headphones have been working for so long. That long battery span in these. Let me get back up here. I will hide and you will hide, and we all shall hide together underneath the bunkers at night. I have water. I come underneath the bunkers in the night. I am in my bunker myself. I just that's what's going on here. The Gov said they have so much extra they might be sending back. I strongly doubt it. I strongly doubt it as well. Have you heard of their plan for a digital blockchain based currency? Yes, they call them CDBCs, or CBDCs, and it's the central banks basically trying to get in the cryptocurrency thing. And what those are going to do is make people realize that is just fiat 2.0. That's digital, which is even worse. So with their CBDCs, I think it might be CDBC. I think it's CBDCs. With those central bank owned cryptos, they can do secondaries. So they can inject more coins into the system, which is basically fiat 2.0. At least you'd have more checks and balances on them. But at the same time, like, that would just make a finite one like that is actually decentralized look even better. So I think those would ultimately fail, and people would be like, nope, I'm going into Bitcoin. I just see those being something that would make Bitcoin continue to go up if people actually do the research. It's like, why would you want to do fiat 2.0? But I switched to Tastyworks. Founders of Thinkorswim started it. Oh yeah, Thinkorswim is amazing. Okay, you're talking about Thinkorswim. You're just using the abbreviation. Okay. I switched to Tastyworks founder. Yeah, Tastyworks. I've seen that guy. I've listened to some of his podcasts and stuff. He seems like a pretty intelligent dude. I haven't looked at Tastyworks platform, but I'll definitely look into it. It is a downgrade, but the commissions are better, and I like the company. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I'll look into that. China's plan for a blockchain digital currency. Nobody knows. Nobody really knows what they're up to. You know, it's really tough to say. Apparently, you will be able to buy crypto at Tastyworks here soon. I would imagine that's true. Truly appreciate the advice. I've made some real money by just listening and applying what I've learned from you. That's awesome, man. What's up? It's Tom. Hey, what's up, Tom? Tom's a super cool dude. When my channel, I was like almost at 1,000 subscribers, and he did like a giveaway for my channel for me without even knowing me. I still remember that. That's still like that was almost got me emotional, man, because people, the way I grew up, I didn't have people doing like things for me like that, and it's still I thanks for doing that, man. It was really cool that you did that. Investing in myself and starting a business I've been dreaming of for about a year now. Right on, Dave. Right on, Dave. Proud of you, man. That's the way. I mean, it's so backwards the way the society is, in a sense. It's so backwards where it's like you want to, when you're young, they're pressuring us to be like, okay, find out what you want to do for the rest of your life. You're 16 years old. Figure this out now. You want to be a doctor, a lawyer. What do you want to do for the rest of your life? An astronaut? You know, it's like, I want to fail. Like, can I fail a little bit? I want to fall on my skateboard. Like, and learn how to skateboard and fail and learn some stuff from that. And I want to fail at this and I want to fail at that. And you just got to keep failing forward. Every single successful entrepreneur, every person that is successful with business just fails forward. They fail forward. You're going to fail. You are 100% going to fail. When you do something, it's just failing forward. And then eventually you have a success. But it's so backwards in our society where everybody wants this fallback. They want plan B, you know. Oh, don't you want a security? Don't you want a fallback? It's like, no, plan A is going to work. Plan A is going to work. And if it doesn't work, I'm doing plan A again. I'm going to go after it again. I really feel that. I'm very passionate about that. So props to you, Dave George. Greece didn't have a democracy, though, only land owning guys. I mean, it's back then, but you know, Socrates and the philosophers of that time, a lot of relevant things. If you look into their teachings, it's pretty relevant to what's going on now. I love researching about that, which is why we are a republic. That's awesome, bro. What kind of business? He's talking about the guy that's starting a business. Sold my gold for 20 Antminer S19 Pro. Privacy is important. You're getting into mining. Right on. I moved from Apple Valley, California to St. George. It's beautiful here. I might be following you. Who knows? Who knows in the future? Right now, I'm still in California, and my warehouses are here and everything. I do web design and graphic on the side hustle currently, but fusing to and turning my graphic designs into product. Very cool, Dave. Very cool, Dave George. Um, what do you think about copper with new future uses for copper related? I mean, there could be a lot of. I would want to own copper on like some sort of stock in a way, because it's like, how are you going to store enough copper to make sense? Um, super heavy, like to have like a, if you had like 100 grand in copper, it'd fill like a very large amount of my room that I wouldn't want to do. But if you had a way to store it, I guess, or a way to sell it when the time is right. Not for me personally, but there could be a lot of upside there. I know another person was big on like brass or something like that that was talking to me about. Um, you have to be kind of in the industry of copper, I guess. Let's hope so. I figured it would be very cool. Dave George starting the graphic design business. I wish you much success, Dave George. Stack them rounds too if you can get them cheap. Ammo has doubled and tripled in price. I bet. Wow. If you started, if you look at it from a business perspective, I bet you that has gone up quite a bit in value. I didn't even think of that. I bet that was a great business to be in. Oh my gosh, I can only imagine how much they made during all this. Um, that's awesome, man. The man is there for sure. Happy to be part of your first live stream. Have a great night. Hey, you too. Have a great night, Joseph Romero. I appreciate the support, brother. Thank you so much. Silver Jeans, what's up? What is up, Silver Jeans? Bitcoin and crypto could possibly help reduce global poverty. It's a win-win for everyone. Absolutely. If Bitcoin reaches 100K for every $10 you bought at 40K, you would have 25. To think how crazy it's been, how easy it's been to double money on it. Yeah. I mean, back when it was at 3,000 to here, I mean, that's what, 12x, 13x. Insanity. You put 1 grand, you have 13 grand. Wild. Check out Southern Silver and Gallon Gold tickers SSV, GG.V, both exploration miners poised to explode. SFP. I'm not too big in the mining companies, but I have been hearing Warren Buffett bought a gold mine, dumped Apple, I think. I wouldn't doubt that he's starting to take profits on the high flyers and starting to go into more safe havens. I know he's very cash heavy, but he's playing hot potato. He has like a plan on what he's going to do with his cash. Wow, 54 likes we've had on this. People that have smashed the like button, appreciate you. Thank you so much. 54 likes, that's pretty rad. So we're gonna sign out here, guys. I'm gonna get to the last couple of these comments here. FSX has gone to the moon crazy. It's difficult to equate a republic from 2,500 years ago to modern day republic. Greece had 2,500 BC level knowledge, intellect. So we should hope we've evolved. Yeah, definitely should hope we evolve. But honestly, there is some things there that are similar. I mean, in their philosophies that are actually very helpful if you like study Socrates and you study all the old philosophers. They have a lot of really useful information. It's crazy to think how intelligent they really were back then. It's interesting stuff. He bought stock in Barrick Gold after dumping a boatload of Amazon. I think he might have sold the Barrick Gold position. I'd have to double check on it. But I think Socrates was executed. I think Socrates was executed because of I forget what it was, but it was something extremely ironic. It was because he preached something that he ended up being right about, and he ended up getting executed for it. It's crazy. It's like the guy who believed that the Earth was round and that we were revolving around the sun, and they made him be, what is that, Galileo? They forced him to be in exile, like forced him to. It's crazy. That, you know what? We'll end it on this. I'm a big fan of Albert Einstein's, and he said something along the lines of great minds have always experienced vicious opposition from mediocre minds. Always. So if you have a good idea, if you got people saying it's not going to work and this and that, if you have a great mind, there will always be mediocre minds trying to take you down. I think that's a great thing to end when it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to gold, when it comes to silver. If you see beyond the smoke and mirrors and the stuff that they're trying to put up, I think this crash on Friday with precious metals was just a facade so the central banks and the institutions can start going into the safe haven assets on the cheap That's me personally. I think Bitcoin is showing the true colors because they can't control Bitcoin in the same ways that they are controlling precious metals and falsely suppressing precious metals in the near term. I think that is going to explode in the very near future to the upside in precious metals. That's my personal opinion on it. I think it's smoke and mirrors. I'm staying true to my thesis. That's where I'm at. Silver, platinum, Bitcoin, gold. Those are my four. A little bit of palladium and rhodium on the end. That's my decentralized positions myself. Thank you everybody so much for being part of this live feed. Thank you everybody for smashing the like button. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe down there. Would love to have you as part of the community. What is my company name again? I own mineralexchange.com. There's a wholesale list that you can sign up to on the website. If you just go there, there's a wholesale buyers club. Feel free to go over to mineralexchange.com. There are a lot of places to get your precious metals, but if you want to get them from me, I own mineralexchange.com. Thank you again, everybody, so much for being part of this live feed. It has been awesome. Yeah, smash that like button. Smash that thing. It really does help. And 57 people have. So there's only 26 here in the live feed with us. 57 of us have smashed the like button. That's a pretty good ratio. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. We will be doing this once a week. We'll be doing this once a week. Crazy. The first live stream we did was 2 hours and nearly 30 minutes. I said I was going to stop at 2 hours. Can't believe it's been this long. It's been a real pleasure to be able to talk with you all. We'll do this once a week. I'll announce it on like Instagram the day that we end up choosing, but then we'll have a consistent schedule about it. But thanks again, everybody. See you at the next video here on YouTube. If you haven't checked me out on Instagram, at Rob Soltan on Instagram, all my information for the Facebook and everything like that, and my business and everything is on the Instagram. Thank you all so much for being here. Signing out.